SMU football as the Mustangs take on the Longhorns from the University of Texas. SMU football is brought to you by Ted Arundel Ford, by Dr. Pepper, by Jackson Concrete, and by Auto Crossroads.
A brilliant sun on a magnificent afternoon, better than 70,000, and the ball is in the air. Simmons, 5 yards deep, he won't bring it out. Simmons elects very wisely not to come out with the ball, so it'll be 1st and 10 for SMU, the Mustangs, coming off of 2 heartbreaking losses, 4-2 in the season, and there's your backfield.
Lance McElhaney, number 11, the man to watch, will be at quarterback. The great running back, Eric Dickerson, along with Charles Drayton and Anthony Smith, the wide receiver. They'll be exciting to watch, but McElhaney will have all these people watching him as they break from their huddle. There's Gary Smith and Clement Cox, the other 2 wide receivers.
Lance McElhaney's first snap under center as a starter comes against the number 2 team in the country, the University of Texas. Texas crowds the line with a 4-3-4. Comes to the right. McElhaney around the right side. Doesn't get to the 20-yard line. He's whipped out of bounds by number 51, Bruce Scholes, a linebacker who has 48 tackles already this year. He's just racked up number 49. So McElhaney tried to spin out there. You saw he got nowhere as the containment was on him.
Jusko, Barnes, Peterson, Hartnett, and Spivey up front for SMU.
Texas was not surprised by McElhaney's speed, but they were certainly alert to the fact that he might go wide with that speed. So it brings up 2nd and 11.
This could be a throwing down right away for McElhaney.
Double wide receivers to the open side of the field, and McElhaney gives inside, gives it to James. James to the 30, 35, to the 39, the 40, out to the 41-yard line. A good little delay in the middle of the line, and Craig James, the marvelous running back from Houston, Stratford High, went out from the 19-yard line to about the 41-yard line, give him 22 yards on a 1st down for SMU.
Texas was ready for a throw, and a good opening right up the middle, as you see James running all on his own, and he got some valuable real estate for SMU.
That offensive line has to do the job against a line that is 6'5" and averages 247 pounds defensively. Line is in balance now. McElhaney again fakes that inside give. He's looking, hits his man on the 45 and down immediately. Linebacker was over in the coverage. The pass was to Charlie Drayton, who picked up his 4th reception of the year, but he was knocked down by Doug Schenkel, the nose guard, or rather the middle linebacker, who went up to the right side. His responsibility to take the man out of the backfield. He did.
Schenkel comes up with about 35 to 40% of the tackles consistently, and he's a tough one.
Mustangs have wide side of the field to the right. We've just begun. Used a minute and a half in the clock. No score. McElhaney the give. James again. Out to midfield beyond the 45, down to the 43, inside the 40, down to about the 35-yard line. A quick opening play. Watch him pop on the right side, Frank Falacy. Good-looking play.
Well, SMU has premier backs, and James is one of them, along with Dickerson, and that was just great running on the part of James. They're opening up some holes.
I think that maybe Craig James has picked up as much yardage in the first 2 times he's carried the ball as he did last week entirely. Didn't have a chance to look at it again, but it looked gorgeous the first time, I'll tell you. 2 in the eye, that's a 2nd 1st down. Give to Dickerson, he finds a hole over the middle. 77 on top of him is Kenneth Sims. Sims with a tackle on Eric Dickerson, who struggles down to about the 30-yard line. Give him just about 6 yards on that carry. It'll be 2nd down and a long 4 of short 5.
You can't argue with the play selection by Ron Meyer thus far. Tried to surprise him on the opening play at the 20-yard line. They're now down to the 31 of Texas.
It's 2nd down and 4 yards to go. 12 minutes and 35 seconds to go in this first quarter of play. No score yet. Texas with a 4-3-4. Dickerson again tries to struggle over the left side. Schenkel was one of the tacklers along with Kenny Sims. Sims made primary contact with the right shoulder. Schenkel over the top. A pickup across the 30 down to about the 29. He had to go to the 27. Did he get there? Not quite. He's about 2 yards shy. 3rd down and 2. Texas substitution number 67 going in is Larry Ford. He's going in for Doug Schenkel. Or rather, he goes in as an additional back, and they take out William Graham. Take out one of the safeties, put in another linebacker, so they're showing a 4-4 on the defensive front. That brings them 8 men close to the line of scrimmage.
They've been playing more than the 4-man front the last 2 downs, and I'm sure they'll come strong here.
James again, he tries to struggle, gets across. Good blocking up front. Got a fine primary block from Perry Hartnett, and I think that James may have had the first down. At least it'll be close enough for them to eyeball it. We're down to 11:42, and the officials are going to bring in the sticks to see if SMU does have a first down or not. It's been an exciting opening moment of play here for after McElhenney was stopped for a yard loss in the very first play. It was James for a pair, Dickinson for a couple, and one toss in there to bring SMU all the way from their 20 across midfield. They've gained 53 yards so far, and this is the biggest measurement so far of the game.
No, you don't have it. And you don't want Garcia to go for it, but it's in his range. Let's see if no one's coming on from the sideline.
The play selection calls for the quarterback probably to be the man to mooch it over. Now this is where Mike Ford, who is not starting today, and that's a story in itself, and we'll develop that as the game goes on. But he's not there. Let's see how it develops here on 4th and inches. A character builder. It's coming up.
For better blocking, the older McElhenney by 1 year has come in as another tight end.
Double tight ends. Texas crowds the line. Everybody's there. McElhenney takes one step, turns his shoulder, backs in, and I think he's got it. McElhenney went in behind Barnes and Jusko. Got a good block from Peterson as well. Went behind the big people, and already from SMU an indication Lot McElhenney does not even lead an official. Let's see if he made it or not here.
This is a quick handoff. You see McElhenney knows where he has to go right over the left side near the guard and just hugged his belt.
Ken McCune was the man hugging the quarterback with no affection whatsoever. They're going to measure it again. The officials today have a tough job in a game that means so much, with Texas getting into the heart now of Southwest Conference play, and SMU has lost a couple of heartbreakers. They made it. That's the third first round in a drive that began back in their own 20. They've come now to the Texas 27.
That shows the confidence in the coaching staff of SMU and the team itself. They got what they had to get and keep the drive alive.
Texas has some very quick men on the corners. For example, Mike Hatchett, number 2 on the near side to you, is only 5'11", only 172, but he can fly and hits like a ton. Levi Mays, 670, he's on the opposite corner. And they get the safeties close to that line on 1st and 10. McElhenney back to throw. Here's the pressure. Runs to his right. Waiting. Here it comes. Complete or not? No, yeah. They say he's out of bounds on the 16-yard line. Caught it out of bounds.
But it was a good play all the way.
Tremendous. He went for Vic to the right side with Steve Massey making the stop. And the pass just out behind the arms of the SMU receiver.
Watch McElhenney get away from the rush. Spots his intended receiver downfield. That's Anthony Smith, and he's just out of bounds.
I think that was 31. That was Dyke DeCusen who was up there, number 31. And Dyke had the ball, but he was just out of bounds, so it goes incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. McElhenney in the drop. Pass in behind the cornerback, no flag. The defender in there was Mike Hatchett. We talked about him moments ago. That was Tony Smith. Tony Smith in the pass that was down inside the 10-yard line made his cut. And the pass a little behind him, and Hatchett on the defense brings up 3rd and 10, still on the Texas 27-yard line. Mustangs have come from their own 20 to the Texas 27, and they've used almost 5 minutes on the clock, Frank Falacy.
Good ball control series, and also they're dictating to you what they're going to do. It's going to be full of balls in the air.
26-yard line, actually, and it's 3rd and 10. A long yardage play. Watch that safety man for Texas as SMU shows motion. Quarterback draw. McElhenney to the 20, down to the 15-yard line. He may be a yard behind where he had to be. He was a yard beyond where he had to be for the first down. McElhenney shows his speed and alacrity up front to bring SMU to the 15-yard line of Texas. It is a first down, number 4 for the Mustangs. Stopper was Robin Sendline out of Nevada, the right side linebacker. But the Mustangs are still on the prowl. Have held the ball now. We've got 10:35 to go in the first quarter. Texas has yet to see the ball offensively. Split wide left is Mitchell Bennett for the Mustangs. McElhenney on the drop. Cox looks. He's stopped. Right side defensive end played it perfectly. Took a stride across. Floated with the play. That's Ken McCune again out of Lake Jackson. Reached across, and McElhenney couldn't spin out of his grasp, so there's no gain on that play. As a matter of fact, he lost a couple.
McElhenney is very impressive, Mal. He looks like he's played that quarterback spot for SMU all season. Has the good moves, and it hasn't been afraid to take a pop either.
All right, SMU sending their plays in on every play off of the bench. We've got 4 of the coaches up here to the right in the booth right next to us, and we can't really peek in and see what they've selected next. McElhenney, give. James into the hole. Hit by number 77 for the 3rd time today. That is Ken Sims, the defensive tackle. Bends a shoulder in, and no gain on that play. As a matter of fact, there's a marker.
SMU had procedure called against it, and Texas might not take the penalty here, but they are.
Ball's brought out beyond the 20, out to about the 23-yard line, between the 23 and the 24. Eddie Garcia, a potent and competent threat on the sideline from the field goal range. He's hit one from 49 so far this year. 9:40 on the clock, still counting. Second down and 13, second and about 18 yards to go. On the 23-yard line of Texas, on the longest sustained drive of the day, because it's the only drive of the day. Two backs in the eye. That's Craig James at the top. James gets the ball. Hole is there. Puts his head down. Hits the linebacker. Bangs inside the 20. Maybe to the 18-yard line. Good contact. Doug Schenkel on the stop. Number 48. One of them to come out of that stack there. Pickup is considerable, but when you're second and 18. Watch James' action here, Frank.
Good handoff, and right through the hole where he was supposed to go, and got short yardage on the play. This brings up the big down now.
Third down and 13. The measure of a great back. All the great backs in football are what they do just at contact. Double wide receivers to the left side, number 45 and 81. McElhenney under pressure, ball is free. I think that SMU got back with it.
It's still Mustangs ball, but that was one of those plays where we've seen that earlier this season. The quarterback pulling back, looks like he wants to set up for a pass.
Drayton on the recovery, and see what happens in here where the ball pops free.
Couldn't tell, really.
Drayton, number 28, drops on the ball. So SMU has to opt for a field goal with 8 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Ball will be put down on the 29-yard line. A 39-yard kick from Eddie Garcia. Ball is down. Kick is up. He's got distance. Has he got accuracy? No good. It's off to the right side. And the long drive, which consumed almost 7 minutes on the clock, 6:52, dies with Texas getting the ball for the first time. Timeout here with the score. Texas nothing, SMU nothing. And Woody Van Dyke. Texas, as you notice now, has two tight ends as they take the ball over for the first time with 8:08 on the clock in the first quarter. Little. The right side gives it to Darrell Clark. Clark, the left halfback, playing in behind. Jam Jones is jammed up on the right side after he picks up maybe a yard, a little bit more. The hitters were Mike Carter, who's playing nose guard today, number 74. And the rest of that defensive line on the left side helping to choke it up a bit. A pickup of a yard, it'll be 2nd and 9.
And there is the defensive line for the Mustangs. Ferguson, Armstrong, Carter, Richard Neely, and the linebackers are Bennett and Moten.
2nd down and 9 for Texas. Donnie Little, the very elusive quarterback who has tremendous speed, gives off again. Same play to the right side, and hitting him out of bounds. From the inside came the linebacker to go across the field to hit Gerald Clark out of bounds. Clarence Bennett, the strong side linebacker, chased across field and hit the very elusive Clark out of bounds. The 198-pound sophomore from Houston getting a chance to play after Jam Jones was hurt. So it brings up 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Texas with substitutions in every play with their messengers. Robinson is one. Bobby Mitchell, number 46, another freshman from here in Austin, also will get extensive playing time today, and he's in that backfield now. 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 for Texas. Texas first possession. Little lobs it down the middle to Stapleton. And Stapleton just had drifted down to about the 32-yard line, and it looked like an easy pass to handle, and suddenly deflection.
Blaylock is the man who deflected it, and it was playing center field. You're going to watch Blaylock now. He's the only man who could save this from a possible 6 points. Watch him come across. Makes contact right there and jars the ball loose.
That target is 6'6" and weighs 235 pounds. John Goodson will stand. Kick from the 30-yard line. He's standing at about the 15, gets it up, and look at that ball. Give a beautiful turnover, chasing Simmons into the sun on the 13-yard line. Simmons behind a wall of Texas orange, stopped in the 16 after a 3-yard. They got it on the 12, brought it out to the 16, and SMU gets its 2nd possession. Magnificent punt.
I'll tell you how magnificent it was, Mal. 57 yards with a 4-yard return. Kafis probably was watching that one with interest.
Texas held the ball for less than a minute on offense in that first series, and would you believe it, on 3rd down and short, what did they do? They went for the bomb right away. Shows a little confidence on Freddie Akers' part. It'll be 1st and 10. Texas, or rather SMU, on their own 17-yard line.
SMU now is starting 4 yards shorter than they did the preceding drive, and it was unfortunate that they went all that distance down to the 27-yard line of the Longhorns and came up with nothing. Perhaps they can correct that on this drive.
Picked up 4 first downs in the process. SMU. Timeout with the score, Texas nothing, SMU nothing. Here at Memorial Field, the time back in with Texas on defense and SMU on offense for the second time this afternoon. Just in front of us on the 17-yard line. McElhenney. They give, and everything is jammed up in the middle. And a sort of an option give as he slid down the line. McElhenney, his give off jammed down by Dewey Turner for 1. The defensive left end, Kenneth Sims, the defensive left tackle. They jammed everything in front, stopped the play for a loss of a yard.
That's exactly what they did, Mal. Just collapsed on a front area there, no wall whatsoever.
Texas shows number 89 Turner, number 77 Sims, number 48 is Doug Schenkel. He's the man in the middle. 84 is Massey. Ken McCune's number 98. That's the way the defensive line looks. Schenkel is the man in the middle. He's actually a middle guard, linebacker. Here's the flip to James. James trapped. Gets around the 10. Stiff-arms his man. Gets to the 15, out to the 16, original line of scrimmage, and that's all he gets.
Well, he made a lot out of that after it might have been a good 10-yard loss.
Tremendous pursuit by number 60, Robin Sendline, number 28, Bobby Johnson, the safety.
Watch this now. McElhenney is almost caught before he makes this pitch out to James. That's a good angle of how he was starting anyway.
5 minutes and 59 seconds to go in this first quarter. 3rd down and 9 yards to go. Will McElhenney put the ball in the air here? Gives to James. James into that same hole that was open in the first series. It's closed now. Linebackers were there. Schultz was there along with Sims, Schenkel, and Massey. That's the left side linebacker who clutched into the hole. Then Sims, Schenkel, and Massey to form the 2 tackles, and the middle linebacker shut it off. And Texas gets a rousing standing ovation for the defense. Eric Kafus back to punt. His average 44.4 yards for 41 shots so far this year. He stands in the 5. The line of scrimmage is the 18. A low drifting spiral.
This is the kind you can
to the
return.
40-yard line. Pursuit is there. Flags are downfield. Texas is on the move, but there are 2 flags that stop the play. Those flags are back at the 45-yard line, and the whistle suddenly got everybody and stopped them dead.
Up until that carry by James, he had 4 attempts with a total of 46 yards, an average of 11.5 yards a carry.
A very exciting number 11 is Herky Walls, 5'8", 151-pound speedster from Garland. The decision is about to be made. The officials pick up the ball. And the officials, I'm apparently going to mark it off against Texas because SMU is applauding the decision. And here comes the mark-off and the indication to the Texas bench what it's being called for. Donnie Little checks back in. You see him coming into the Texas huddle.
Well, apparently there's no mark-off now, Mel. 42-yard punt, no return for Kafus of SMU.
5 yards. Brought back to the 34-yard line. Indication by the official. Illegal procedure. Back to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 Texas. Their second possession comes with 5 minutes and 13 seconds in the first quarter of play here at Memorial Stadium. Donnie Little with 2 running backs in behind him. Gives to Mitchell. Mitchell ganged 1, 2, 3, 4 times he's hit, and there may be a face mask penalty as number 37, the official on the outside facing you, suddenly flipped that yellow flag on the field.
SMU does a good job of stringing this out, and something happened right in that pile.
Number 80 was Hunt, Byron Hunt, and number 36 was Clarence Bennett. Somebody was detected, and that 15-yard penalty is more than overcomes the 5-yard deficit on the return against Texas just moments ago. Time 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Ball brought out to the 49-yard line of SMU. First down for Texas. Their first down of the afternoon comes via the penalty route.
And the first time they've been in SMU's end of the field.
Wide receiver Sanford Coggins is to the open end of the field. Donnie Little is under center. He has yet to run. Here he comes on the prowl. Flips it out late to the right side, and a trip tackle. A beautiful trip tackle by SMU's cornerback on the far side. Hits Clark, and Clark spins to the turf just across the 50 to about the 49.5-yard line.
Mobley came down to trip him up from his ankles. Good move right there by Mobley, number 20.
Young Mobley has not played all that much in previous games, but the young man from Tyler proved his mettle there. Second down, 10.5 yards to go. Clock at 4:22 and counting. No score yet. Little on the drop. Comes to Sample and has the ball in the air and cannot hold it the second time around. It yo-yos out of there after the second tap off, and Mobley was on this side of the field defensively that time. Also with Mobley, number 33 was Gary Moulton, the weak side linebacker.
You're going to watch here. It's a break for SMU because Moulton was on the other side. He felt that the play was going to go that way, and Mobley came to his side.
You know who he needed? Johnny Bench. Third down, 10.5 yards to go. Texas, in their second possession, have picked up one first down. That came via the penalty route moments ago. We're at 4:14, first quarter of play. Little with a short count, back to throw. Mobley overshoots him, comes back to throw. Ball comes to the receiver on the 34-yard line, ducking back to the inside, and finally brought back on the 39-yard line as he backtracks. Sanford Coggins, who met the ball, came back upfield. A flag is dropped on the 35, and the flag is against SMU. It's against number 80 of SMU, Byron Hunt.
You're going to watch. Mobley is in that backfield and almost sacks Little right there. And Little was able to just get away by a second or so and complete the pass.
Not only completes the pass, they'll have a penalty on the end of that, Frank Falesi, so they'll have some more yardage added on. And they've suddenly picked up 30 extra yards on this drive, which began back on their own 35 via the penalty decisions. They've come from their own 35 to the SMU 20. 45 yards, and 30 of the 45 have come via the penalties.
Game played a matter of seconds. If Mobley was able to make contact with Little, they'd have been sacked back deeper.
Mobley on his fly-in had gotten by Darrell Clark, the blocking back, and was set for the sack but couldn't pull it off. Give to Bobby Mitchell. Mitchell backtracks down inside the 15 to about the 11-yard line or 12-yard line. Hugs the ball tightly. The young freshman from here in Austin gets a good block up front from Brian Millard from Dumas, Texas, the second string left tackle who did a great job.
Watch this again as it's a straight tackle play right there as he slides off the good block and gets about 4 yards after he made that. Mustangs are making good penetration. They're not able to contain once they're in the secondary.
We're at 3:17. The very economical Texas Longhorns in their second possession have picked up 3 first downs and are threatening on the 12.5-yard line. Give again to the right side halfback, Carl Robinson. And it's odd to see those two setbacks. So many people use the eye, the modified eye, or the man in motion, and you give it to the right halfback or the left halfback and let him go. Get the blocking up front. Robinson picks up, maybe a couple of yards. It'll be third down and a yard to go. Still outside the 10-yard line, but just by about the length of the football. Third and a yard to go for the Longhorns, who are threatening here with 2:45 in this first quarter. And the flags are almost hanging straight down on the mast there, showing that there's no wind factor whatsoever.
SMU has played an excellent first period.
Coggins is wide to the right. Double tight ends. Little's call. Somebody moved. Carter's across the middle.
SMU
Carter
is pointing.
may have been the man who made the first move, number 75, Harvey Armstrong, indicating that there was some movement by Texas that drew him off. Illegal procedure against SMU. So that's 35 yards they've given up in penalties here in this drive, and that's a first down. And the Longhorns relentless with that count, and Carter couldn't wait. Carter and Armstrong just couldn't wait. Ball is on the 6-yard line. First and goal to go. Longhorns, who have not played in 2 weeks.
Seems like it's helped them.
And moving with great precision under Donnie Little, their quarterback. Coggins again wide to the right, gets man-for-man coverage. Give to number 33, that's Darrell Clark. Climbs over the right side behind Tausch and Studdard and Sampleton. Gets a couple of yards down inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. Pick up a 3, second and goal to go from the 3.
4 penalties for the Mustangs, Mal. 40 yards and come on this drive.
People going in for Texas. Number 44 is Robinson. Number 46 is Micho. Number 33 is Clark. You'll see them being interchanged much of the day. You'll also see number 45, possibly John Walker. Keep that in mind as you watch this game. Texas again. They give again to number 33. That's Darrell Clark. Clark is banged off in the corner there by number 99, Eric Ferguson, the defensive left end. Got a shoulder tackle into him. Spun him around. No pickup in the play. Maybe the length of the football. 3rd down and 2.5 yards to go. 1:25, first quarter. Crowd of over 75,000 here on a sun-baked, beautiful afternoon. Mid-October. Texas couldn't be a more gorgeous sky or a better day for the game. Extensive coverage by the press in this area is almost from every section of the state in this biggest of contests within the conference. Gift to Sample and around the right side, strung out and hit and dropped to the 4-yard line. Beautiful cornerback play there by John Simmons on the end around. The give was to Simmons and the 230-pounder, or rather to Sampleton, and Sampleton went to the right side, and Simmons knocked him out of bounds with a loss of about 1.5 yards on the play and brings up 4th down. And John Goodson comes in. So Texas is going to opt for 3 on a great defensive play by SMU.
He's just saved SMU at least 4 points, assuming that they're going to be able to get this field goal.
The holder for Texas, Les Kenning. Goodson kicks from the 10. It's a 20-yarder. The hook angle is to the inside of his instep, which is bare. And he hits that ball perfectly for him, apparently, because Texas has just added 3 points. With the score, Texas 3, SMU nothing. Let's pause for this message. Big wrestle, Frank. He's 6'3", he weighs about 215 pounds. I guess when you're that big, you can kick him barefoot. He'll be kicking off for Texas. There's the 2 deep receivers for SMU, Blaylock and Simmons. They're at the goal line. This one might be handleable, but it goes so deep that Blaylock doesn't even give it a second glance. Watches it hit the end line and go out. It'll be SMU's ball. 1st and 10 of their own 20 with 57 seconds left in the first quarter of play.
Scoring drive for the Longhorns, 62 yards in 10 plays, capped by the field goal. SMU is having dished to itself what it's been doing to other opponents, keeping them deep in their own end of the field on punts and kickoff. They started from the 20, the 16, and now the 20.
The heartbreak is, Frank, that you have the ball so much in that first drive, go so far, play so well, and come away with naught. James and Drayton in the backfield behind Lance McElhenney, getting his first stop. Texas linebackers crowd. Give up front to James. Gets by the linebackers. Gets behind his blocker. Gets out to the 29-yard line. He banged through a hole, as you saw. Got all the way out to the 29 before he was hit down. Let's give credit where credit is due. That blocker in there was Charlie Drayton, the 5'10", 205-pound sophomore from Florida.
Watch it right there. There's the block as Drayton goes ahead of him and James comes right behind him.
Willie Graham and Bobby Johnson are the stoppers. Graham actually took the brunt of the block by Drayton. 2nd and 1. 30 seconds on the clock. 3-0 Texas. Texas linebackers again. Crowd those gaps. Look at the 2 men over the center. Give again to James. 1st down and 1.5 yards, maybe 2 more. Crawls in behind the blocks of Barnes and Peterson. And James picks up a 1st down for SMU, and that would be number 3, number 4, number 5 for the Mustangs in this first quarter of play, which has got just 20 seconds left.
If something's going good, go with it. That's James.
James got some yardage in this first 15 minutes of action. Number 87 for SMU leaving the game. Tight end for just a moment. Then as SMU does what Texas does, shuttles players in. That's Bolden who leaves the game. And that's the end of the first quarter. The end of the first period with the score, Texas 3, SMU nothing. This is Mal Campbell along with Frank Falesi and Woody Van Dyke. We're at Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. Score 3-0. We start the second quarter. They've just sung happy birthday to Bevo. Would you believe that? The big steer has got a birthday. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the handoff is given to Charlie Drayton. Drayton's out to the 40-yard line. Getting some little trap blocking up front there by the offensive line for SMU. William Graham, the safety, makes the stop as Drayton hits a pretty good hole in there.
Watch Drayton right there. A counter play as he goes over the right side, and the running game for SMU is running well.
The count is quick, the blocking is crisp, the pickup is good, and it's 2nd down and about 1.5 yards to go. McElhenney started this game. He settled down quite a bit too. McElhenney again. The give to his tailback, the man at the top of the eye, dots it with a pickup across the 42. He may have gotten to the 43 if he has. he's gotten the first down. But it's so close, maybe the officials will give it a second look. No, they do not. They say it is a first down.
And speaking of first downs, that's SMU's 6th in the game. UT has 3. Mustangs owning the edge on the ground. The only thing that's hurt them thus far has been their penalties.
Lot McElhenney, the tight end, in and out of the game frequently. Substitutions on almost every play include one offensive performer perhaps, plus the messenger with the play. Double tight ends now. James, that hole is there again behind Drayton out to the 49-yard line. I tell you, if you put your eyes on number 28, Candy, that's Charles Drayton as they call him, the strong blocker. He's getting into the hole first, knocking off somebody with his shoulder. Ken McHugh, number 98 for Texas, is the stopper.
You're going to watch
how it develops.
It's straight blocking. There's no real fancy stuff as they just move the men out of there and you move right by them.
I think they call it just area blocking, don't they? Hit the man ahead of you. Pickup of about 7, almost 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.5 to go. McElhenney again. Gives to Dickinson. Dickinson this time takes the deep handoff and gets to the 50-yard line. That's a pickup of 1. The difference was the former handoffs were maybe 1.5 yards closer to the line of scrimmage. That was a deep handoff. Texas had a chance to react.
And it did make a difference this time, as you're going to watch. The back will be coming right there. He had a ways to come, and they blocked up the hole.
That was Steve Massey, the Pasadena senior, who made the stop. 3rd down, critical down, 3-0 Texas, 12:53, 2nd period. McElhenney seemingly very calm now as he takes the throttle of the SMU Express. Back to throw, end around, gives the ball off. A wall of blockers to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35. A juke step down to the 33-yard line. Mitchell Bennett brought it all the way around from the right side of the left. They stuck that one in, picked up the first down, and a lot more.
I'd like to know who was coming in on the left side from Texas. You're going to watch it. He probably thought he had McElhenney dead to right. And when he gets at him, the ball is gone, the man is gone.
Here's the 9-5 flyer around the left side. Suddenly it closes off, but he's knocked out of bounds by Levi Mays, equally quick on the corner. But Levi got there a little bit late. Good long play for enough yardage to give them a first down and a little more. Better than 16 yards. Give up front again to Dickinson. Head down, he bangs secondary. Hits the safety man out to about the 25-yard line. Almost another carbon copy of that first drive in that first period of play. Again, SMU from the 33 down to about the 25-yard line, 26-yard line make that. 2nd down and about 3.5 yards to go. We're at 3-0, but SMU is doing some great blocking up front.
This drive is even more impressive now. They're mixing it up well. It's exciting, and they have power.
SMU again with possession, almost 3.5 minutes on this drive. And now Texas broke somebody through, stopped the ball carrier Dickinson. He had no place to go, nowhere to find, and he's hit down by Dan Hunter, the defensive left tackle, Steve Massey, the defensive right tackle. The tackles met at the ball carrier. 3rd down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards to go. And here,
right there, good pursuit on the part of the Longhorns. They had 4 orange jerseys coming in.
3rd and 5, wide receiver for SMU. Split wide right is Tony Smith. Double tight ends. McElhenney looks down that line. Back to throw, waits, Cox goes to the right, comes upfield, he doesn't get the first down, extends and tries to crawl out there for extra yardage, but he didn't make it. Doug Schenkel, number 48, the middle guard, grabs the 5'10" 180-pound Lance McElhenney, and McElhenney comes up just a yard shy. So it'll be another attempt at a field goal here.
Watch
Apparently.
this here as McElhenney sees that he's pinched in and now decides he has to run the ball, and Schenkel makes sure he's not going to get much more as he met him. McElhenney tried to stretch and just was a half yard short.
Garcia will try a 41-yard field goal with Kafus holding. Ball is on the 31. It's up. It floats. Has no problem with the wind. The kick is good. And we've got a tie ball game here at Memorial Stadium with the score Texas 3, SMU 3. Let's pause for this message. Scores tied 3-3, Frank Falacy. This has been a heck of a ball game so far.
It's been an enjoyable game to watch, and I'm sure it's very enjoyable for the Mustangs to play because they're tied. They took 11 plays for 56 yards in 2 minutes and 35 seconds to equalize it.
Number 25 is Al Fields. Number 11 is Herky Walls. Number 45 is John Walker. They're all ready to receive the kick by Eddie Garcia. He right foots it and sends it into the end zone. Well, it's out beyond the line, beyond the restraining line, almost out of Austin County. But it's another one of those just tremendous mammoth kicks you get on this AstroTurf because the ball's sitting up so beautifully. And he shoots it out of there some 72 yards away, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Texas on their own 20.
Both teams' kicking game has been impressive.
This is Texas' 3rd possession. First possession lasted a minute. Second one long enough for them to get a field goal of some 20 yards from John Goodson. And this is the 3rd time they've handled the ball today, moving into a very, very almost negligible wind. On their home stadium, Memorial Stadium, which holds 78, may have 75,000 packed in here today. A fumble, the ball is free. The Little gets it back up. Washington stops him, or Ferguson stops him as Little mishandled the ball, but it bounced right back up into his right hand. He got to the line of scrimmage and picked up maybe a yard more.
Harvey Armstrong caused all that, as you're going to watch it right here. He'll break through number 75 and almost was able to keep Little back for a loss.
Pickup of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9. Walls wide to the left. He's number 11. In behind Sample and number 87, the huge tight end. Open side of the field to the left of Don Little, and inside trap. Right's halfback Bobby Mitchell tries it over the left side. Came in behind his blocking center, Mike Babb, and the left guard, Joe Sheeran. Didn't get far. Harvey Armstrong choked that one off too, Frank. Pickup of a half a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
SMU is getting down and getting under the play, and that's what's happened in the preceding 2 plays.
Again, number 9 to the right, the open side is Sanford Coggins. And Sample is also out there. Little looks downfield, looks in one direction, pulls the ball down. He's hit. Flag is thrown. Against whom will it be? Mike Carter, the NCAA shot put champion, playing nose guard today, stuffed off the play, and SMU very alertly and very lively says this penalty goes against Texas. Here's the conference. I don't know if we'll have a chance to see what happened there, but on his roll, Little moved off to his left and looked downfield. He looked in one direction. It was a unidirectional look, and by the time he pulled it back down, somebody may have broken across that line of scrimmage. We're just presuming something there without knowing that to be a fact yet.
Here's the indication by the referee, and it'll be declined. SMU wants that ball. You've got to give that series to the SMU defense.
Tell the coaches next door to you, Frank. Great job, guys. But Texas has just got an awful lot of firepower here. You wait for this bomb to explode. Brings up 4th and 10. After the loss of 2, John Goodson will kick that ball away. It's from the 20. That's where Texas just started their offensive thrust about a minute and a half ago. Goodson, the barefoot kicker. Watch his stride. Yeah. Soft, short spiral. Doesn't get the turnover. Simmons, 47, 46-yard line. Fair catches it. SMU with great field position. Timeout with the score, SMU 3, Texas 3. Frank Falacy, Texas had the ball just a minute and a half and picked up only a 26-yard punt. The SMU Mustangs have got great field position. That's the Texas 46-yard line. McElhenney give to Dickerson, floats around the outside, uses his speed, gets down to the 40, cuts around the corner, and he's driven out on about the 40-yard line. He was pretty well hammered as he got inside, almost contained, swiftly moved out of there to the 40-yard line.
But his speed is what really paid off for him, as you're going to watch here. He's almost stopped for a loss. If you can see it right there, he moved so quickly that it was a blur. And he just gives a little bit of a shoulder and gets about 5 yards.
Stutter step defeated Ken McCune, but Bobby Johnson alertly played on the corner, picked it up for about 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3 yards to go. Give inside, trap hole, the give to the up man, number 31, Dyke DeCusin, and DeCusin comes across the 40 to the 39-yard line, almost the 38. Bobby Schenkel, the middle guard, along with Steve Massey, they're the stoppers. The quick count by Lance McElhenney means that he no sooner gets under center, and I think that's something that you fans want to be aware of, the rhythm that the quarterback has established. 3rd down, 1.5 yards to go. SMU tied up at 3-3 with Texas with 8-12. Give again to Dickinson, and he's hit first on the right thigh and stretches it out, gets down to about the 36-yard line. Is it enough for the first down or not? Bruce Schultz, 233-pound junior from Austin, on the stop, and they're looking across to see is it a first down or not. No, the official indicates it is not. Puts it back to the 32 or out beyond it. Brings up fourth down, and Eddie Garcia is going to try one that will have some distance to it.
The rushing so far in the game for Texas, they've rushed 12 carries with all their backs, made 19 yards, an average of 1.6. James has an average of 7 yards, a total of 70 on 10 carries.
Eddie Garcia, 55-yarder. It's in the air. It's trying to get there. Trying. It doesn't make it. Went off to the right-hand side. It had the distance, but it just floated a little bit to the right. He almost had to push it the last 10, but it went off to the right, and the ball's brought back out to the 36, 37-yard line, where it'll be Texas ball, 1st and 10.
Right now.
7:24 for the Longhorns, and they've got the ball on their own 37-yard line. There's no question about maybe the SMU Mustangs are very much up for this game. I'm wondering, looking at Texas, looking at their bench, looking at the way they're playing, not lethargic, but not quite as fired up as I thought they might be.
Well, they might be surprised. They really might be surprised with a change in quarterbacks for SMU coming off 2 tough losses. They thought perhaps they'd take control of this game. SMU, ironically enough, could be well ahead. 2 drives have come up with nothing.
Well, they've come 2 drives, and one's come up with that 3-pointer, which really helped them, and they almost picked up that second one, as you mentioned, that other drive. But 3-3 in a ball game that's down here to 7 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Not bad.
Monday evening at 7, watch football Texas style on TV 39. You'll see an interesting story on a multi-million-dollar high school football stadium. Highlights of today's game, and Frank Lieber's guests will be the Dallas Cowboys' Ed Too Tall Jones and Tony Dorsett. For an exciting football hour, tune in Monday night at 7 on TV 39.
There's the birthday boy, Bevo. I don't know how old he is, but he's a big rascal, and he was serenaded at between the quarters. Texas ball, 1st and 10. Little slides down that line. There's the hole. Comes out across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Pickup of about from the 37 to the 43. Give him 6 in the carry. In behind the blocking of Joe Sheeran and John Tabolka, and the pickup is good for about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4. Mike Carter for 1, and Jared Moore for the other. For the Mustangs, make the stop. 2nd down. Give him a pure 5, and it'll be 2nd and 5 to go. On the 43-yard line, Texas with double tight end Snow. They've split a man off to the left side and flanked the right side. Back to throw. Flag and a sack as SMU quickly gets a man from the front line in a hurry.
They had that play spotted pretty well. Coming in was Armstrong from the left side. I couldn't pick up who had the other side coming in, but they sandwiched him.
They got there in a hurry, and there are 2 markers on the play. And again, SMU indicates it's against the University of Texas, the Longhorns, committing their share of infractions this year. Before this game, 505 yards assessed against them.
You can't keep playing like that and be able to always manage a win.
Illegal procedure against the Longhorns declined.
Watch it right here, as he was hit by both defenders coming in for SMU.
Armstrong is a bull. 6'2", 255 out of Houston, Kashmir.
Another angle right here.
Eric Ferguson, Perry Hartnett. A lot of people are playing some football now that are it's pretty inspired. 3rd down. Loss in the play of about 3. It'll be 3rd down and 8 yards to go. And you sense that the ball will be in the air again, as Texas has 3 receivers, 3 wide receivers in their offensive set as they go double wing. Check. Did they take too long? They may have. That'll cost them 5 yards more. And Fred Akers is beside himself. He's just furious with these calls. Another 5 yards against Texas. The ball from the 39 back to the 34. That one has to be assessed, and Texas faces 3rd and about 14.
Akers was shouting something and waving both arms. I don't think he was cheerleading.
3rd and 13 make that instead of 3rd and 14 from the 34-yard line. 6 minutes and 17 seconds. The game is tied at 3-3. 2 very good field goal kickers in the game. Same offensive set. Motion man to the middle. Back to throw. Here's the rush. Not much of one. Over the middle in the pass, and it bounces on the knee of the intended receiver on the 48-yard line.
And he had
How
the
do you
first
like
down,
that? That was Herky Walls. Herky was down there, and Herky was in receiving position.
Had the first down, too, Mal. You're going to watch it again right here. Little had good protection and looked for one man all the while. Walls, as he was right there in position beyond the stake. You can't see it, but he had the first down.
In his defense, the ball was nose down, but in his accusation, the ball was catchable. John Goodson will kick with the line of scrimmage, the 34. The receiver is John Simmons, a single receiver on his own 35 off the right side of the foot, and it bounces out of bounds on the 39-yard line of SMU. With the score, Texas 3, SMU 3. Let's take time out for these messages. With 6:03 to go, SMU has the ball on their own 39. McElhenney to the right side, hits his receiver, and he too finds it a little bit hard to catch. A quick pop to the right side, looking for Mitch Bennett. Bennett was up there. The ball slithered away. Incomplete. McElhenney's second pass. It'll be 2nd and 10.
It's a hard pass to throw across field like that, and it was a little hard perhaps, but Bennett was up enough for it. Hit him right on the pads.
Just under 6 minutes in the second quarter. Field goals have told the story. Drop passes, a lot of penalties. 2 long drives, 3 long drives for SMU so far. They've cashed in 3 points in 3 drives. McElhenney delay give. James can't do anything with that because from the underside, a very enthusiastic Dan Hunter, number 63, grabs him by the ankle and stops him there. That'll bring up 3rd and 10, and now the teams are trading defensive insults with each other. And not much offense on the field here in this second quarter.
There you watch it right there.
Texas line 6'5", 248 pounds. SMU offensive line about 6'4.5", averaging 243. There's a pretty good matchup in all the conferences now all around the country in the size of those lines from tackle to tackle. Officials indicate we've got a delay in the game here for just a moment. Non-assessable. SMU goes back in the huddle for the second time. You can see by the shadows this is a field that is bathed in sunlight. There's just nothing to obscure a brilliant Texas sun here in this late October day. Anthony Smith along with wide to the right side, and McElhenney has him on 3rd and 10. Motion man is Craig James. That puts a flood to the right side. McElhenney pulls the ball down, but he doesn't get far. Gets to the 40-yard line. Flag is thrown, and that flag on that side of the field may indicate that we've got a procedure penalty against SMU.
Yeah, too many men out there trying to do a job, and that probably could have happened.
Nope. Yes, sir. Procedure penalty. Offsides against SMU, so that means nothing happens.
McElhenney right there, you can't tell where the procedure call was, but he decides to take the ball and run with it.
But you know, that's a break for SMU because they get that ball back and try it again. That one doesn't work. Try something else. 5 minutes and 16 seconds in a game that's just a little stale at the moment because not much is happening. The score is 3-3. The field goals have told the story. Texas has been almost lethargic. I would imagine Fred Akers will use that word in his first half description in the locker room because that's what the Longhorns have been. On the other hand, Ron Myers, his team has moved the ball smartly. Center moves. McElhenney also moves, and Texas gets in to sack the quarterback. And on a broken play, Kenny Sims, along with Steve Massey, stop any further advance by the Mustangs. And there's a loss in the play, and SMU will give this ball right back.
That's the first time that McElhenney and his center have looked like they weren't together. And I guess you have to allow for that with a new quarterback coming in for his first start.
Kicker number 2 is Eric Kafis, who has a sparkling average and sends one up that's a low driving spiral that gets downfield in a hurry that Herky Walls fields on his 13. The wall is there. Walls goes to the right side, reverses direction, still on his feet, breaks to the inside. He's got a wall of blockers on the left. He's being chased by Kafis for one. Kafis taken out on a crushing block. Craig James knocks him out of bounds on the 48-yard line. Kafis got leveled by number 77, Kenny Sims, but Craig James was the last man behind in front of Herky Walls in a possible touchdown.
And maybe it was James Speed that made all this. There you see Herky Walls completely reversing his field, and he gets a wall set up now. A wall for Walls. Kafis gets a block out of the play there, and Craig James, with his speed, was able to get to the other side of the field and get him out of bounds. He got some help.
Herky the water bug took it all the way back from close to the 20-yard line out to midfield. It's 1st and 10 for Texas, and that can fire them up. 4:25. Little on the drop. He's got 4 in the pattern. Comes to the right side. Ball is underthrown. Sample in the tight end was in the right flat. He was in behind Mobley, number 20, and in front of John Simmons. The linebacker had dropped off, number 36, Clarence Bennett. So he was in the triangle, but he couldn't grab the ball. 2nd and 10.
There was some pressure perhaps on Little, or he just unloaded it funny.
4 minutes and 20 seconds. And the two teams have gone to the air. SMU and Texas have both tried the aerial route. And a peculiar thing has happened. The ball is either not to the receiver, or after they get hold of it, they can't hold on to it. Little again. He, too, a fine runner. Slides down that line. Takes advantage of the hole. There's the advantage of the gap. Down to the 35, down to the 30, inside the 30 to the 29, 27-yard line. Make that to 26. He got a great block up front from Les Studdard, the offensive right guard, Terry Tausch, the offensive right tackle.
This is the best run of the day for Little, as he has complete control of the field. Just going through there, picking his spots, and he knows where he wants to go to the goal line, and he's short of it by about 20 yards, but he made a good run.
John Simmons was the stopper. You saw number 80, Byron Hunt, who has to take the pitchman, the potential pitchman. He had to stay with him, and that made it possible for the quarterback to duck inside. That's a 1st down. Little on a straight drop. Here's the pressure. The right side he comes. Ball almost intercepted by John Simmons, who turned his left shoulder, tried to turn inside of Stanford Coggins, number 9, and it was a race to see who might get possession. Pass is incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. 3:51. Ball is on the SMU 27-yard line.
When you are on the offense and have Simmons as your man, you have a job cut out for you to perform well.
Carl Robinson, number 44, comes in. Another one of the freshmen and sophomores who dot the backfield for Fred Akers' 2nd-rated Texas football team. 2 equally set setbacks. Quick count. On the drop. Pressure. Pass to the right side. Deflected. And the pass was caught by number 23, Rodney Tate, but the deflection came by the rushing of the defensive left end. Hunt came in, and I think it bounced off his arm or his fist. And the pass is complete, and they lost some yardage.
It was a break for SMU right here. As Hunt will come in, knock it away. It's going to be caught, but it's way behind the line of scrimmage.
Gee, Hunt showed some basketball quickness on that. Didn't he slap that ball away? Loss in the play of about 3, almost 4. It'll be 3rd down and 14 yards to go. Texas in a double wing. Wing back in motion from the left side. Little on the drop again. Here's the pressure. Over the middle he comes. Pass in the air. Intercepted by SMU as it bounced off of Coggins' fist to the 30, 35, out to the 40, out to the 42-yard line.
That was
the
Hopkins.
interceptor was Wes Hopkins, the free safety. The ball has been like a volleyball all day. This time it broke to SMU's advantage.
And how it's got to be to their advantage, and see what they can do with it with 3:03 remaining, as Wes Hopkins, who is almost like Simmons, plays well back there, picked up the tipped pass, and the Mustangs have it 1st down and 10 to go just across their 40.
Would you believe that Wes Hopkins is an Birmingham, Alabama native and a walk-on sophomore? He's had 1 interception before today. This is his 2nd. Couldn't have come at a more fortuitous time. 3 minutes and 3 seconds. 3-3 the score, and SMU gets the ball back on their own 42. Here's the way that play looked.
You're looking at it right now. We're back to live action.
Again, the give to James. He's scissored inside. They try to jolt the ball away from his grasp, and gets maybe a yard as the middle of the defensive front. Ken Simmons, Steve Massey are the inside. Schenkel is the linebacker. Scholes and Sembine also sifting over. So there's a pickup of 2, but it's a very tough 2 for Craig James, who had in the first quarter maybe 35 to 40 yards that he gained on 2 plays. Second down, still about 8.5 yards to go. McElhaney fakes the give, drops, throws the ball. It's batted down. Linebacker, 51, Bruce Scholes. Linebackers in the face of McElhaney, and the short quarterback puts no loft on the ball, throws it right in through, and Scholes reacted and batted it down.
The passing game has a lot to be improved for both teams. Little is 1 of 5 for 16 yards. You're going to watch McElhaney here again. He is 1 of 6 now for 3 yards. It just knocked right down.
2 minutes and 24 seconds until the first half is history, as the teams have traded. So a little bit of incompetence here on both sides, and incompetence may be too strong a word, but it's been very difficult for them to pass accurately or to hold on to the ball. McElhenney straight drop again. Here's the pressure. Cox throws up front, looking for James. James cut down, can't get to the ball. Linebacker coverage there by Doug Schenkel. I tell you, Schenkel is a wall-to-wall linebacker in his coverage. It'll be 4th down. So SMU's offense avails them nothing there, but it was a great defensive play that at least took Texas out of scoring range for the moment.
If nothing else, when they didn't score on that opening drive when SMU took the game's kickoff, they consumed enough time that Texas hasn't had that opportunity to do anything with the ball.
Herky Walls is down on the 10. Line of scrimmage is the 44. The setup, and Texas has got the return on. And Walls watches the ball, and the ball goes into the end zone. So we've got a timeout here with 2:12 to go. Timeout with the score SMU 3, Texas 3. 10 for the University of Texas on their own 20-yard line, tied at 3-3, 2:12 to go. Second quarter here at Memorial Stadium of a game that's had some opportunities that were frankly missed. McCloney in, now double wing again, give to the outback, number 33, hit, bounces after that first tackle, spins around. That's Darrell Clark, the 198-pounder from Houston, and he picks up maybe 2 yards. They hand him down the line before Gary Moulton, the weak side linebacker, finally pins him on the 21.5, make it to 22. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go.
Cephas had a 56-yard punt just before we came back to this last play, and no return as it went into the end zone.
Texas out of the huddle in a hurry, and they show the same offensive formation to the right side. Flip over. Here is Donnie Clark. Flips out in the clear on the 20, down to the 22, 23-yard line. A great undercut tackle, block tackle by Blaine Smith. Smith, as the ball is flipped out to Clark, and Clark gets to the 23, make it the 25-yard line, and Texas takes a timeout.
You're going to watch it here, and if Smith doesn't make this open field tackle, Clark can go for quite a ways, but right there he cuts him down.
You know, that's on a field like this, you've got to be so sure that if you're going to block tackle, that you make it a good one, because if you just slide off the guy and he keeps his momentum and balance, he's gone. We've got a timeout with 1 minute and 33 seconds to go. And the Texas Longhorns are tied 3-3, and there's no question about it. In this first half, they haven't been as sharp as they could have been, and SMU has had some extremely competent moments.
A reminder that Monday night at 7 you can watch football Texas style on TV 39. You'll see an interesting story on a multi-million-dollar high school football stadium. Highlights of today's game, and Frank Lieber's guests will be the Dallas Cowboys, Ed Too Tall Jones, and Tony Dorsett. For an exciting football hour, join hosts Alan Stone, John Nyland, and Frank Lieber live from the beautiful Marriott Inn on Stemmons Freeway in Dallas on football Texas style, Monday night at 7 on TV 39.
Sounds like an extremely interesting evening this coming Monday, depending on what happens in the Southwest Conference and in the NFL. Donnie Little, what a story. A junior out of Dickinson. He's picked up 733 some yards in passing this year, and a couple hundred by rushing. So as an all-purpose back, he's been superb. Back to throw again. Here's the pressure. Forces his pass. Hits his man Clark on the 32. Clark spins out to the 34. Hit down by Jared Moore, the linebacker, but Little got the ball off in a hurry. Picked up the first down. That was enough. They went from the 25 to the 35, a 10-yard play. Texas first down. They've had only 2 in this quarter, 4 in the first quarter. They've had 6 overall. A minute and 19 to go.
He had to get away from a quick rush from Washington of SMU that time.
Man for man on the coverage in the open side of the field. Now they deal him off. Little's back to throw. He's got 4 in the pattern. They cross. Little may pull the ball down and throw. Lofts the pass in the 40-yard line. Herky Walls up in the 42. Belted out of bounds. Did he have possession? He did. Wanted up by John Simmons on a jarring drive that hit Walls belt high.
Watch the catch, though, by Walls. He had to go straight up about 3 or 4 feet. Right there, making sure he got that ball.
Oh, wouldn't you like to be his insurance man? 57 seconds. First down, Texas. What a hit. But Texas is moving. Lofts it to the left side. Flag is thrown. Clark gets away from that first tackler. Tries to get away from the second. Still on his feet inside the 30-yard line. The flag may nullify everything as Darrell Clark rather, goes down inside the 30-yard line and made substantial yardage before Harvey Armstrong peeled back to get him.
SMU looked like it might have jumped off quickly, but they could have been drawn off.
Texas is not retreating an inch. The penalty is against SMU, and it's been declined. for obvious reasons. It's the first down for Texas. And Texas takes another timeout with 43 seconds on the clock. They've moved from their own 20 to the SMU 28-yard line with a minimum of expenditure of time, Frank. Frank, in the first half here, we know we have just a moment to talk about this first half of play, but that first quarter, a 20-yard field goal by Goodson. In the second quarter, a 41-yard field goal by Garcia. That tells the whole story. Not quite the whole story, but the whole scoring story.
And SMU does not want to give up any points at all here, but if they have to, it'll be a field goal. Little, incidentally, is 6 for 11, has had 1 intercepted for a total of 62 yards. His credentials have picked up here in the last several plays because of the passing game. But SMU needs a fumble here, a fumble recovery or an interception to stop this drive, because Texas looks like it's got good momentum.
Looking ahead to Texas in the third quarter, that is their most proficient quarter, has been all year. That is the least proficient quarter for SMU. Little back to throw. Over the middle he throws. Looks for Clark. Clark doesn't have the ball, but he's tackled anyway. Byron Hunt, the end dropped off to make the hit, but it was unnecessary. Clark had not cradled the ball. 38 seconds. Second down, 10 yards to go on the SMU 28-yard line. Goodson, who's had 2 mediocre punts, 2 26-yard punts in this first half, but his field goal kicking, that's something else. Little on the quick count. Clock is moving with 35 seconds. Over the middle, pass high to Herky Walls, can't grab it. Walls on the 9-yard line, goes off his right shoulder. In behind him, number 25 is Dick Blaylock. Number 39, Adams. And the pass is incomplete. Brings up third down.
You can see right there as the pass went off the extended hands of Herky Walls, but good defense on the part of the Mustangs has been helping them miss those passes.
McCloney now in. McCloney was bothered by some stretched tendons, I believe, earlier in the week. And the Maurice is the flanker. Pretty capable young man who transferred here from Nebraska. Here's Little back again. He looks, pulls the ball down. He'll be hit. Byron Hunt spins away from Hunt's grasp, but finally brought down on the 30-yard line. Second hitter was Richard Neely. Neely getting a start today and enjoying it very much. Loss in a couple yards in the play brings up fourth down, 25 seconds on the clock. And Texas uses its last timeout. And probably will call on John Goodson to see if he can do something about putting 3 more points on the board that so far in the first 29 minutes and for 35 seconds, Frank Falacy, I think you and Woody Van Dyke will agree, has not been a spectator's delight as far as efficiency is concerned, but you can't beat it if you're a SMU Mustang fan, and at least you're tied up with the number 2 team in the country.
Well, I'm very impressed by SMU. I'm impressed by Texas because I knew they were strong, but SMU has played actually probably a better game in this first half than Texas has.
There's quite a story there.
SMU 2 for 8, Texas 1 for 9 in third downs. Defense has been good for SMU, strong.
3 times SMU has moved down the field. McElhaney, I think the fact that he was on the spot in the opening series and maybe the second series has now been depleted as a factor in this game. He's still in the game. He's performing well. He's had a couple of opportunities to move, and I think that the heat is off him as a person.
Well, he responded very well in that opening series, much better than a couple of the other drives.
All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 Texans, 6 Longhorns in. As Goodson is going to try a field goal ostensibly. If he kicks it from the 37, that'll be 47 yards overall. Les Kenning will be the holder. The ball is up, and I think he is. Has he got it or not? He did. It just dropped in behind that crossbar to make it a 6-3 Texas lead with 19 seconds on the clock. So Texas gets 3 more on the field goal by John Goodson.
It took the Longhorns 1 minute and 53 seconds to move 10 plays over 51 yards, capped off by Goodson's second field goal of the afternoon, and they lead the Mustangs again by 3 points, 6-3.
You know, as a kicker, John Goodson is almost casual the way he approaches the ball. Some kickers are so intense, and they do so much with their bodies dramatically after they approach the ball and after they hit it, but he looks like he's very casual. It's almost like a ho-hum affair. SMU's got 19 seconds to do something with this return of the kickoff by Goodson, who's just added the 6th point for Texas, the only points that Texas has. Through the first 30 minutes of play, less than 19 seconds we've got to go. Goodson boots it away. It's a sail. It looks more like a punt. to the 5. Losing his shoe, the returner. To the 20, out to the 23-yard line. Literally coming out of his shoes, John Simmons comes out to about the 20-yard line. Simmons left his shoes, but brought it out to the 25-yard line.
There's Simmons, loses the shoe right there. His left shoe slipped a little bit, but he said, I've got to go anyway. I'm committed.
Don't leave home without it. All right, 14 seconds on the clock. Ball is on the 23-yard line. As Texas has taken the lead, SMU's got just time for one, maybe two plays. What will McElhaney do? Nothing too reckless, I would presume. He gives it to Dickerson. Dickerson can break the long one, but he doesn't, because number 84, Steve Massey, hits him first and stops him on the 25-yard line. Clock is at 7 seconds, and we have time suspended as a timeout is taken by SMU. So the Mustangs, who do not give up on the possibilities that even though they're 75 yards away, they can do something with the 7 seconds that are left to them. 6-3, first half. They're announcing some scores here. And they're drawing some response because some of the top teams in the country are playing, and the teams that they're playing against are holding them reasonably close.
Ron Meyer and his coaching staff have prepared Mustangs very well for this game, I think, Mal. You have a real traumatic situation. A sentimental type thing with Mike Ford after he had his injury and hepatitis coming in and guiding the Mustangs through their first 4 games undefeated. Whether he had a good game or not, the team won. You make a change at quarterback after 2 straight losses, and anything can happen. And I think they've done very well to prepare them, and the Mustangs have responded.
Time for one play. McElhaney under center. Second down. 8. That's unimportant. 7 seconds of the clock. That is important. McElhaney airs it out. Dickerson hit on the 47-yard line as he's extended in midair, and the ball drops away. Oh, he sacrificed the body and got hit by William Graham. 1 second left in the clock. So SMU, by virtue of the incompleted pass, which stops the clock, will have one more tick to see if they can do something with it.
Well, there's Dickerson right there as he tried to grab it and he got popped.
That'll sure change your digestive pattern for a couple of days, won't it? What a belt. Wide receivers to the right. McElhaney knows that he'll be under pressure. As we've got man for man, they're going to be bumping them coming off the line. McElhaney, he gives it instead. James out across the 30, out to the 35, 39-yard line. Adds to his statistics, but doesn't add to the score as we've come to the end of the first half of play with the score 6-3. Frank Valesi, I can tell you, 20 yards from Goodson and 47 yards from Goodson. Field goals. 1 field goal for SMU. That's 41 yards from Eddie Garcia. That's the scoring story.
And the second half is going to be probably just as interesting, and I believe SMU has just a little bit to sharpen on its passing game, needs to run with its 2 good backs, especially James, more than it did in this first half because they were controlling the line of scrimmage. They're able to contain Texas, mostly Little, and their running game if they get a break or two from themselves. Penalties have hurt them. They've given up the ball in crucial situations. They've maintained 2 good drives, and if they can do that in the second half, I think they might come out even winning this game.
I would think that neither coach has fully showed his offensive arsenal yet. There's a lot yet to be played in this game, no question about it. We'll be back with the first half stats and the start of the second half after this message.
SMU football is brought to you in part by First Texas Savings Association, the people who have ways to beat the 80s. By Hager. By Safeway, by Blue Cross Blue Shield, and by Barry's Cameras.
We're ready to start the second half of play. I'm Mal Campbell along with Frank Valesi and Woody Van Dyke. Woody, that first half statistically, I think there's arithmetic. The arithmetic there virtually tells very little.
Well, SMU has really outplayed the Longhorns. They're tied in first downs, 8-8, and Little has completed more passes than has McElhaney for a total of 60-some yards. McElhaney only 1 of 6 for 3. But in yards rushing, SMU has a total of 148 yards, while Texas is barely up at 100. Well, I think the Mustangs have pretty well dominated play here in the first half.
I wonder how much the Longhorns missed number 24, Jam Jones. How much that changed their offensive pattern in the first half, if at all. That's a moot question now, but it could have changed their thinking a little bit. He may have been available earlier, and he wasn't now. At any rate, Eddie Garcia kicks it off. 3 receivers deep, but it means nothing because the ball again goes all the way out of the field of play. We're brought out to the 20-yard line, and Texas gets the first shot here in the third quarter to see what they can do on offense. They lead by a score of 6-3. John Goodson's 2 field goals have told the story so far. Eddie Garcia has had 1. If you've just joined us, Eddie had just had 1 field goal, missed another, but hit 1, so it's a 6-3 game. 15 minutes to go. Texas ball on their own 20.
Penalties have hurt SMU. They have 40 yards, while Texas has only 10 yards assessed in the flags.
1st and 10 for Texas. In their backfield, they've got Donnie Little. He's number 1. 2 setbacks. Clark is 1. They give around the right side back to the 25-yard line, and carrying the ball, number 33 is Darrell Clark. The opposite back is number 23, Rodney Tate. 33 is Darrell Clark. You'll find number 87, Lawrence Sample in the tight end, and number 11, Herky Walls, a split end. 21, McCloney, or 9, Coggins, they're the flankers. That hit down there was by Eric Ferguson, the defensive end, after the pickup of 5 yards by the Texas Fleet halfback. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Longhorns, who usually have a very big third quarter.
Well, they've got the ball now. That'll give them a start.
The Burnt Orange Texas Longhorns are number 2 in the country after 5 consecutive wins. And none were they punished or really hurt, except the Oklahoma game, which they trailed. The chase to the outside, a great block. But as Byron Hunt trailed the ball carrier all the way across field, and Dick Blaylock finally got him down. The 23, Rodney Tate, around the opposite side, got outside the 30, out to about the 34-yard line. That's enough for the first down.
Just good running there on the part of Clark. Michael Carter was shaken up on the play, but limped back to the defensive huddle.
Ball just shy of the 34, give him about 10 yards in that carry. It'll be 9 yards in the carry. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 34. Texas ball starting this drive on their 20. Their lead by a score of 6-3. Inside to Tate, number 23. Tate, trap hole in behind Mike Babby center. Les Studdard, the guard. Terry Tosh with an influence block. And the pickup out across the 37, almost to the make it the 37-yard line. Pickup of 4. The stopper there is Richard Neely. Tremendous temptation to say Ralph Neely. It's Richard Neely. He's getting his first start today, and from what we've been told, he was looking forward to this with a great deal of anticipation. 2nd and 6 for the Longhorns. Open side of the field is to their right. The deal off. Clark again. He's hit, gets nowhere. Maybe half a yard. Number 99, the man you see first, is Eric Ferguson. You'll also see there's a marker on the play. Advanced it maybe half a yard. Ferguson, and number 75 is Mustang tackle Harvey Armstrong.
Holding against Texas as the preliminary signal, and it was a good string out on the part of the Mustangs to stop the play to begin with.
Got some good penetration, didn't they, Frank? I think this is a major penalty, and if it is, it'll be a big mark-off against the Longhorns, as we mentioned in the first half, have been victimized by a lot of penalties this year. 505 yards before today. A Newman, which has got to stick out in the minds of Fred Akers and his staff. And that mark-off is 15 yards, brings the ball all the way back to the 24. As the officials indicate that they have seen a personal foul call. Tripping call against Texas, and it brings it back to the 24. Makes it 2nd down and long. 2nd and about 20 to 21 yards to go. They've got to go to the 44-yard line. They are now on the 20, well, on the 24. Make it 2nd and 20.
See if SMU runs here, runs at them pretty well with pressure.
Linebackers are off about 3.5 to 4 yards. As Little may anticipate, he's going to put one in the air. He puts it down. He's got Sampleton, and Sampleton can't get to the ball because it's too low. Not catchable on the 44-yard line.
Some mild pressure was put on by the Mustangs, but Little was able to get the pass off pretty well. You'll watch right here. He sets up and drops pretty well. Moves just a little bit, and the pass was slightly underthrown.
At number 74 you saw in that picture is Mike Carter, who's a nose guard position today. 265-pounder out of Dallas, NCAA champion in the shot put, indoors and out. 3rd down, still 20 yards to go. Little Straight drop, comes up the middle, comes to the outside. Pinned in, does a jitterbug step, gets to the 30-yard line. That's where he's pinned in. Number 99 is Eric Ferguson. Thought he could juke him out of there, but couldn't quite accomplish that fact. Ferguson stayed with him, stride for stride. Number 74 was Mike Carter, who plays the middle, was on the left. 4th down, still 14 yards to go.
Watch it again as Little tries to fake. Ferguson never gave any ground. He stayed right with him, as a defensive man must do, and stopped him.
SMU picks up 1 first down, uses 2 minutes, sends in their punter, John Goodson. High snap. For the 3rd time, a rather erratic punt. Fair catch called for on the 44-yard line by Blaylock, and it'll be 1st and 10. We'll take a timeout with the score: Texas 6, SMU 3.
With 9 minutes remaining.
SMU's ball, 1st and 10. Their first possession in the 3rd quarter from the 44-yard line. Lance McElhenney, starting quarterback. He's still there. 2 back, set in the eye. Lounged on smartly. Give again to James. Bends over the blocking of the Drayton. Gets out to about the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard more, and that's all the further he gets. Piled up there by a pile of burnt orange. Number 84, Steve Massey, and Robin Sendline, number 60, the right side linebacker. It's tougher to run inside now than it was in that 1st quarter when James was finding huge holes that he could exploit.
They might have to try a few more plays, but James is still a good runner. You don't know when he's going to crack one.
He and Dickerson give you that threat anytime. James is the top of the eye. Drayton, Charles Drayton, number 28, he's the fullback, immediately behind McElhenney. Drayton handles the ball, bends over the middle, gets out across the 45 to about the 46. A pop play, and it didn't quite go for him. In behind the blocking of Bob Barnes, the left guard, and Jusko, the left tackle, Mike Jusko, the left tackle. Minimal advance of maybe a couple of more yards. It'll be 3rd down and still about 7. Ken McCune and Steve Massey, who are on the right side defensively for the Longhorns, stop the play. Horns play a 4-3-4. That's a pro defense. Play it with about the same size people, too. Look at the linebackers, how far inside they are. They've got 7 men crowding that line. McElhenney slides, pitches it out. James has got it. 50, down to the 40.
He's in the open.
The 35, the 30. James will go all the way. It'll be a touchdown for SMU. And the SMU bench is alive.
That's what McElhenney will do for you. He froze the linebackers and the 1 cornerback, and James was all alone when he took the pitch.
The commitment was made by the backer. The pitch to James, and James for his 2nd longest run of the year. I hope we have a chance to see it again. I presume we will, but it's 9-6.
Watch it here. McElhenney looks like he's going to be popped right there, and he just pitches it out. You don't see anything but green where James is going.
The coaches in the booth next to us are from SMU. They're cool as they can be, but you know, inside they are thriving. Eddie Garcia sends it up and through and into the crowd, and we've got a 10-6 ball game. SMU leads. 11:27 on the clock. Timeout with the score: SMU 10, Texas 6. The SMU fans who are here are ecstatic on the run of 53 yards by Craig James.
The entire play took a minute and 19 seconds. 3 plays, 56 yards, but as Mal just mentioned, 53 by Craig James for the go-ahead touchdown for the Mustangs.
They ran twice to the middle, sprung James wide to the right. He took it the distance. Ball will go out of bounds. Off the kick of Eddie Garcia, he'll have to kick it from the 35.
But look where it went out of bounds. Half yard.
Got it that inside shank. That's just a 5-iron shot, and he put it out right where he wanted it. I tell you, the SMU 3rd quarters have been the quarters in which they have had some problems this year, Frank Valesi. You know that so well, you and Woody Van Dyke, offensively, but that was a great-looking run by Craig James.
Mustangs continued with their poise, and that's what they had to do. No matter what Texas did, they had to stick to their game plan and their poise.
Moments ago, the crowd here of some 70,000 was responding to the score that was given in the Rice-Texas A&M game early in that game. You can imagine what's happening around the Southwest Conference when the score of this game may be announced over the various PAs, but we've got a long way to go yet. 11:27, 3rd quarter, SMU leading by a score of 10-6. Eddie Garcia will kick off from the 35-yard line. He has Alfred Fields, Al Field, the near back, along with Herky Walls, the very dangerous Herky Walls. The far side is number 45. That's John Walker. Each one is capable of bringing that ball back 20 to 25 yards. They have speed and a great deal of moves. Kick is through the end zone. 1 skip, and it's out. Out to the 20-yard line.
SMU is back to its traditional way of playing thus far this year, keeping the opponent pinned in its own end, making him earn the yardage from its own 20, 18-yard line.
Now the Texas fans a little bit upset. Their team is behind by a score of 10-6. Donnie Little, the quarterback. Texas has responded traditionally in the third quarter. They trail by 4. They've had passes dropped on them. They've had penalties hurt them. And they've been stymied by a very stifling SMU Mustang defense. Little down with the double wing. Back to throw on first down. He cocks, he throws. He's got his receiver in the clear, and does he have it out of bounds? He does. On the 38-yard line, that's Rodney Tate. Tate takes it out of bounds on a soft, lofted lob off the hand of Donnie Little, the quarterback. And Tate, who has picked up 8 receptions before today, picks up another one. And this is long enough for first down.
Watch it right here. Tate will get close to the sideline, has his eye, good concentration all the way.
Dick Blaylock, number 25, was on that corner. And Texas is going to go to the air where the ground has not sufficed. First and 10. 38-yard line. Little slides down that line. Doesn't pitch and gets into traffic and still skitters away from 5 players, but his momentum finally brought him down. Number 75 is Harvey Armstrong for SMU before Little ran out of running room. He was scissored in the revolving door and finally came to turf on the 42-yard line between the 42 and the 43. A pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
This is where Little could be dangerous. They have to keep containing him and get the pressure on him because he's behind now and he's explosive.
Number 21, Maurice McCloney, into the game. He and number 9, Sanford Coggins, are frequently shifted back and forth. You'll see them coming in and out of the plays on alternate plays all day long. Little over the middle again to Sampleton, his tight end. And Sampleton again has to reach and kneel. And at 6'6", it's a long lean. John Simmons, number 34, was on the coverage. And Sampleton, so far, I believe, has been shut out. Before today, he had 11 receptions, over 220 yards. So far, he hasn't caught a thing. It'll be 3rd down and still 7 yards to go.
That time Little really didn't have any pressure put on him, but maybe SMU's got him psyched to that point.
SMU leading 10-6. Time 10:22, third quarter in a filled Memorial Stadium. Good pocket. Stays, waits, dives to the outside. He's hit. Dropped back on the 35-yard line. Number 75 is Harvey Armstrong.
That's the 3rd sack for SMU thus far this afternoon. The Mustangs are fired up on defense. They've been since the opening kickoff.
The Cashmere Jr. reached in, and as Little decided he was going to move, well, you watch the rest of it, Frank, and describe it.
All white shirts around an orange jersey.
The coverage in the secondary made Little take a second look. There was nothing to look for. Lost about 7 on the play. 4th and 14. It's a kicking situation. John Goodson is in. Just gets it off. Sends it high. Doesn't turn over. Simmons watches it bounce, goes laterally. It'll go out of bounds on the 40-yard line, and again SMU will have great field position. Time on the clock, 9:39. Score is 10-6. SMU leading Texas, and the Mustangs cannot complain about the breaks today because they're getting some grand ones.
25-yard punt, no return. But SMU sets up again on its own 40-yard line. It seems we were there just a moment or two ago.
Goodson's had a 26-yarder, a 26-yarder, a 30-yarder, and now a 25-yarder from a man who averages better than 40 yards a shot, or 39.5 yards before today.
Well, perhaps one of the reasons, Mal, you saw just as he got this last punt away, pressure from SMU. The SMU defense has really been working well this afternoon.
In Texas repertoire is the memory of what they did to Oklahoma in the 4th quarter here. Plus Donnie Little, who has not yet today been able to move into the secondary, except for one time when he had that 23-yard run late in the first half of play. Texas not quite up to their game yet, but you can bet that Ron Meyer is very enthusiastic. So is his bench. So are the fans who are down here from Dallas, Texas.
Look at that graphic. SMU almost 200 yards rushing. Texas under 100.
And James has well over 130 yards, I would imagine, for the day.
Craig James, 15 carries, 138 yards, a 9.2 average.
2-back set in the eye for Lance McElhenney as he brings them out of the huddle. Wing back in motion. Give again. Dickerson into the hole. Hit by number 51. The first hitter's Bruce Scholes. Scholes had some help, but Dickerson and Scholes collided with an impact you could hear almost up here. Falls out to the 45-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Watch it again. This is the other brilliant back for SMU, Dickerson. He just pounds right there. God-given ability to hit him, bounce off, and go ahead.
You know, we don't give enough credit to the people up front. 77 was Perry Hartnett, the 260-pounder from Ball High in Galveston. Did a great job on that block up there. McElhenney down the line, flips it to Dickerson. Dickerson unfortunately makes his cut. Got a block from Clement Fox, but he made his cut inside cornerback Levi Mays, and Levi was there to bring him down. Had a choice to make. Unfortunately made the outside choice, and Levi was spun off the block and stopped him.
No matter how good a runner you are, when a defensive play is made like this by Mays, there isn't much more you can do. Just hold on to the ball and go down.
Clement Fox didn't really have to get a piece of the cornerback, so he couldn't do much about influencing the way he would give Dickerson a chance to run. It'll be 3rd and 9. Double wide receivers, open side of the field to your screen top. McElhenney give up front. Dive play off the 45, 47-yard line. Just a slant, mere slant, and a pickup out to the 47. That's DeCusin. Mike DeCusin out to the 47, 46-yard line. Brings in the punter, Eric Kafis, who has not had to punt all that much today. Eric will have a slight wind to his back. 8:05 in the clock, 10-6 the count. SMU leading Texas by 4. The dangerous Herky Walls in the 10. Walls electrified this crowd with a great run back in the first half. Set up. Ball angled toward the inside, going for the sidelines, and out of bounds it goes. He hangs it on the corner in the 10.5. Don't let Walls handle that ball again, and he didn't. It'll be Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their 10.5. A great piece of kicking.
SMU now has the opportunity, Mal, to hold this ball and hold this game actually in its own hands. As you look right there, SMU doesn't do well in the air lanes. Texas has the advantage there. But they're ahead on the rushing game, and they're ahead at where it counts on the scoreboard, 10-6.
7 minutes and 51 seconds in the second half to play. And SMU coming off, as we mentioned before, 2 heartbreaking losses, 32-28 to Baylor, 13-11 to the University of Houston. Houston and Arkansas playing this afternoon. Give again. Hole is there. Left side setback. Darrell Clark cracks over the right side behind Suttert and Tausch. And he's hit bound by Gary Moulton, number 33, the SMU strong linebacker. And the pickup is about 3, out to about the 14-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
You look at the SMU defensive huddle, and those are the offensive men for Texas.
Stoddard, or rather Coggins, wide to the left side. Split their right side receiver almost to the sideline. Little likes to throw on any down. Give and a hit. Number 78 is Neely, hitting Rodney Tate. 78 in white is Neely. Neely hit Tate as Tate was trying to fly around the left side. Minimal advance up to about the 17, 18-yard line. Give him 4 more. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 yards to go. Harvey Armstrong, Byron Hunt, they defend on the right for the Mustangs, and the horses made the stop there. 3rd and 2. Substitution for Texas. Number 76 comes into the game. That's Brian Millard, and John Tabalka comes out. Texas trailing, 6:44 to go. Give, and a tremendous run by Mike Carter. Carter over the middle, grabbed the ball carrier and threw him for a loss. Number 33, Darrell Clark. Carter, the nose guard, completely dominated the play defensively and stopped them for a loss.
The viewers couldn't begin to appreciate what has happened in this past several moment or two. Michael Carter was shaken up, as we called, a few plays back. His defensive teammates kept pounding at him and encouraging him, and I think he came up with a good play right there.
He throws a shot, puts the shot 67 feet. I wouldn't pound him too hard. From the 15-yard line, Goodson, a one-step kicker, sets it up, end over end, not particularly good. Fair catch call on the 46-yard line by number 46 for SMU, Wes Hopkins. Fair catch called from the 45-yard line. Let's take a timeout now. 6:04 on the clock. SMU 10, Texas 6. If you've just joined us, I'm Mal Campbell along with Frank Falesi and Woody Van Dyke, and we're at Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas, where the score is SMU 10 and Texas 6.
SMU with another opportunity to try to add points on the board in good field position.
45-yard line of Texas. McElhenney, give, Dickerson holds there, gets down inside the 40. Did you see the nifty move at the line of scrimmage? Got to about the 36-yard line, changed gears, and got inside the seam of a very compressed Texas defense and got down to about the 36-yard line, picked up 9, a yard away from the first down.
Hand off to Dickerson. He just sees the hole and makes a good sprint right there and keeps going. Ron Meyer is doing this, trying to help his young quarterback, knows what they can do best, and that's running, and he's shaking loose the great running backs.
Lee Spivey with a good block on that particular play. This time they give it to Dickerson. He's hit in the hole. They bounce him backward. He spins around, and as you saw, picks up the first down by bending down to the 34. Robin Sendline, the right side linebacker, makes the hit on Dickerson, but that's a first down for SMU. 34-yard line.
This has got to be taking off the pressure. As you see Dickerson there again going for that first down dive. The extra effort gave it to him.
Am I right that the Robin Sendline wears that famous Tommy Novus number 60? All-world linebacker for so many years here, right at this institution. First and 10. McElhenney fakes the give. He's got the room. He's going to run to the 30. Heads for the daylight and gets a good block from number 37 of the officials.
And that was run all the way, Mal. There was no way he was going to throw that ball. He wanted to get a first down, knew where to get out of bounds, too.
I tell you, he must have played a lot of basketball because he used a pick man there that you wouldn't believe. Watch it count.
Just a matter that he tucks that ball away and he's off. Anthony Smith was downfield, but there was not going to be any pass.
There's the blocker. One of the men in the striped shirts on the pickoff play. Pickup of about 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 3. 10-6. 4:59 to go, third quarter. Texas crowding the ball now at the line. Motion man gave us to Dickerson. Escapes the first hit, number 84 to the ankle was Steve Massey, and then got down to about the 26-yard line, but there's a marker on the play. And it's against SMU, or rather against Texas, say the Mustangs. SMU today has stayed out of trouble as far as in the second half, as far as the fouls have been concerned, as far as the penalties have been concerned, Frank.
Well, they've had to sharpen up their game there. They had 40 in the first half, which literally took them out of 2 drives, which could have netted them at least a field goal. And it is a first down for SMU on the penalty against the Horns.
Offsides against the Longhorns, the number 2 team in the country.
You can see the movement right up at the top of your screen. That's where they called it.
He's allowed the movement, but he's got to get back after he makes the move. First and 10, SMU. They're on the Texas 23-yard line. 4:43 on the clock. 10-6 the count. The Mustangs lead before. Lance McElhenney, the quarterback, fakes the give, end around. No, he doesn't. One bounce comes back to Gary Smith. Smith loses it the second time. Ball is free. Who's got it? I think SMU got it back. Very alertly, after Smith bobbled the ball, he got it back the first bounce, but it was jarred free to number 52. Bob Barnes, the left guard, saved what might be a very big play later on.
You're going to watch it here that the offensive end for SMU, well, you can't see what happened, but he played the opponent rather well, or he'd have been caught for clipping.
There's a loss in the play of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 14. We're down to under 4 minutes to go in this third quarter as McElhenney gives it again to the top back, and down across the 25 to the 23 goes Craig James, who has impressive yardage against this Texas front 4 and is broken down to the 23-yard line, which was the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be third down and still about 10 yards to go. Kenneth Sims, number 77, the defensive tackle, and Robin Sendline again, that linebacker with a fistful of hits today, make the stop. 3rd and 10. Big play coming for the Mustangs, who lead 10-6 in this third quarter with 3:25 and counting.
They need to get about 8 to 10 yards, and it'll give an opportunity to Garcia to get a good field goal.
2 wide receivers to the right. They got 3-on-2 coverage out there, so there'll be an overload. Back to throw is McElhenney. Waits too long. No. Now he's caught. Can't wait for the play to develop as all receivers are covered. Double coverage on the open man to the right, and the man in the end zone had run out of space. The hitters were number 89, Dewey Turner, and number 77, Ken Sims. As McElhenney that time had to wait for something to happen, and it couldn't happen for him. But Eddie,
going to watch it here. You don't know if he would have gotten rid of it to give an opportunity to Garcia or not, but he just took a little too much time. Everybody was covered, and he was sacked. They're going to try it anyway.
Garcia will try a 44-yard field goal. Kafis will hold. There's the kick. It's up again. It's got the distance easily, and it's good. It's good, and SMU adds 3 more. And it's a 13-6 ball game. SMU leads Texas, favored Texas by a score of 13-6 with 2:29 to go. And so once again, good field position. They capitalized on it.
Reminder that next Monday night at 7, you can watch football Texas style on TV 39. You'll see an interesting story on a multi-million-dollar high school football stadium. Highlights of today's game, and Frank Lieber's guest will be the Dallas Cowboys' Ed Too Tall Jones and Tony Dorsett. For an exciting football hour, join hosts Alan Stone, John Nyland, and Frank Lieber live from the beautiful Marriott Inn on Stemmons Freeway in Dallas on Football Texas Style, Monday night at 7 on TV 39.
Well, our game here is Football Texas Style, 13-6, and Eddie Garcia will try to keep the ball away from Fields. Number 25 was in the near side. Herky Walls is in the middle, and number 45 is Walker. He's on the 5-yard line far side. Garcia, who was the kicker of the 70s, the kicker of the decade as they call him, the number 1 kicker of the 70s for SMU, has added 2 important field goals and an extra point and has kicked the ball through the end zone today.
SMU has the appearance of a very confident team that has the undefeated record. They have played well with poise. They're not cocky. They're confident. Then they're doing the job.
It's an excellent point, Frank. The confidence and the poise they're showing. They've got 17 minutes and 29 seconds of football left. And this crowd of better than 75,000, many are not enjoying it because they're Texas fans. Garcia boots it away, and again it drifts, and it looks like it may go between the goalposts. Almost. To the left it goes, and out of the field of play, and it'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. Kickoffs are always fun to watch. The extracurricular activity when the ball is clearly out of the field of play, but contact is made because we love it.
Be sure and stay tuned right after the game for the Ron Meyer Show, and it could be a dandy.
On the 20-yard line, Texas will try again. Their 4th possession in this 3rd quarter. They've started on their 20, their 20, their 10, and their 20 in this 3rd quarter of play, Frank. So they've had drives of 80 yards or less facing them, 80 yards facing them to get something on the boards. Flanker in motion. Give to the outside, trying to jerk through. The ball is free. SMU's got the fumble. The fumbler, number 23, was Rodney Tate. The recoverer was Jared Moore, number 90. SMU's got another golden opportunity.
Now they can put the ball game away if they can go in for a touchdown on this opportunity. You've got to have Texas. You're going to watch it right here. Tate had made a great move as he came over the left side. The ball is loose there, and it's quickly gotten up for SMU by Jared Moore. The Mustangs now can really control this game.
Well, they can control. Watch it again from another angle. That spin and a good hit. And the Beggs, Oklahoma junior, did not want to fumble that ball there. He only weighs 175. The thrust of his own body, his spin, the ball got away from him. And SMU has advantaged themselves in the 3rd quarter, as they have in all year, to do something and really take a lock, not a permanent lock in the game, but at least to influence the way it's going to be played by Texas offensively in the 4th quarter. We're down to 2:24 and counting in the 3rd. 13-6, SMU leads. McElhenney. Give. James.
Not much.
Nothing at all. Maybe a yard and a half. Give him a little bit because he put his head in and punched for a couple. Texas line was really coming. Turner and Sims made the hit. Massey was on the drive, the undercut drive on the right side. He tried to submarine. Pickup of just a yard. From the Texas 27-yard line. 26-yard line now. Pickup of just 1 yard on that play. McElhenney give up front to Drayton. Drayton's bounced around in there. Did he lose the ball?
No.
He was in a mix master for just a couple of seconds. He whirled and went down with it as Texas is really firing off the ball defensively now. And SMU did well to hold on to it. No gain in that play. It'll be 3rd down and still about 9.5 yards to go. This is tough running as the Texas defense is beginning to catch fire.
This has got to be a real interesting play both ways.
That's right. Here comes one of the big ones of 1980. 13-6. SMU leading Texas by 7 with 1 minute and 19 seconds to go. Clock is moving here in the 3rd period. Open side of the field is to the left. You see the right side hash mark on your screen. McElhenney fakes, gives to James, and James to the 25-yard line picks up the toughest 2 he's had all day. Buried under the orange is Kenneth Sims, number 77, Schenkel's number 48.
Wow. Well, it was apparent that SMU was not going to put it into the air. They wanted it on the ground to get better yardage for Garcia, but he's within his kicking range.
Easily. A no-risk offense there. 50 seconds in the clock. Garcia will try one from the 32. That'll be 42 yards overall. Garcia was just here about 2.5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, putting one through from 44. This one will come from about 41, 42.
And it's straight in.
Right, Frank. Should be easy.
How about
good.
that? How do you figure that?
Maybe the easiest shot of the day, and that's the one he doesn't cash in. It just drifted off. And Garcia had plenty to it. Wasn't a problem of distance.
He might have been just a little too sure of himself. It was almost straight in. Watch it again. You can't tell there because you don't see the trajectory of the ball. You see the rejection of Garcia. He's puzzled himself.
Well, the Texas band has broken ranks. They're coming around the outside. They're trying to whip up the crowd in the frenzy with 29 seconds to go. 13-6. Texas trails. Double wing for the Texas Longhorns. Little back to throw. He waits. Flips it to his receiver on the left side. Loses the ball. A good pop. A good pop on the corner by Russ Washington on the intended receiver, Darrell Clark. Clark claimed the ball. Washington claimed Clark. The ball didn't reach him.
That's
popped out of his hands.
Two great open field tackles the Mustangs have made here in this second half, and it's been a big difference. The man never had complete control of the ball.
Fred Akers has got to think the ball is so elusive. It only weighs a few grams, but it's so hard to catch. Second down and 10 yards to go, 25-yard line. That stopped the clock with 24 seconds to go. Crowd beginning to come to its feet now. Backpedal by Little. Looks down the middle. Cox throws his pass. No good. Out of bounds on the 35-yard line. He was wide when he caught it. The receiver, number 13, Les Kinney. He was wide when he received it.
SMU has had a picture-perfect defensive showing. They put pressure on the quarterback, and they've got excellent coverage on the receivers.
Third down, 10 yards to go, 18 seconds on the clock in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Texas will be going right to left with the sun to their back. SMU will be looking into the sun. A late October sun on a gorgeous afternoon here in Austin, Texas at Memorial Stadium. And the crowd beginning to whip into a frenzy. Double wing again. Little back pedals. Here comes the pressure. Flips his pass to the left side. Gets a block and out to the 30, 29, 34-yard line. No, he didn't have possession. And a flag on the play back on the 27.
That area could be holding or clipping, and I don't believe he got the first down to begin with.
The receiver was number 33, Darrell Clark.
Gonna watch it again. He makes a great effort. Gets away from the first attempt to get him down right there and just springs forward. But he didn't get the first down, and there's a marker which the preliminary signal indicates will be against Texas. As you see the huddle there as they discuss it.
I'm watching Fred Akers' face because Fred's got to believe that maybe the stripes and the officials are going the wrong way. They have just really eaten themselves alive here in the second half, and it's a long decision to make with 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. What do you do? What do you take? Texas had run the swing pass.
A third of the army of the Longhorn band, and they look like an army, has come over down in front of us as a pep band, and they're trying to stir up this crowd.
That ball is brought back, ladies and gentlemen, and the penalty will go against the Longhorns. It'll be third down and long yardage with the ball marked inside the 15 to the 13.5-yard line. The referee looks across and says there was a clip, ladies and gentlemen, on the play.
It was right there.
64 is the clipper.
And the Mustangs are going to make them earn it on third and long.
Third and about 22. The Horns have got to go from their 14 out to the 35. And you got a third and 22 play. And that's the end of the third quarter. The end of the third quarter with the score SMU 13, Texas 6.
Stadium in Austin as SMU leads the Texas Longhorns 13-6, and here to call it, Mal Campbell.
The Hook'em Horn sign and the band have tried to whip up the crowd here as SMU has done a great job defensively for 45 minutes, limiting the Longhorns to 6 points. Little to the right side, and he takes the flip to the left, flips to the right. The ball is dropped. And that's the way it's gone for the second-ranked Horns all day today. And that was Samplin again. Samplin must have tried to touch the ball or touch the balls half a dozen times today. And in no instance that I can recall was he successful. So the Horns will kick that ball away.
Watch it right here.
Full spin.
Complete spinner. And the ball was never put away. Fred Akers might have a concern with the drop passes and the penalties that they've had continuing today.
That replay showed that Samplin may have been figuring where his blockers were and where he was going to go with the ball. John Goodson to punt. Sets it up, boots it away, off the side of his foot again. Blaylock with a fair catch call on the 46-yard line of Texas. And again, SMU, as they start the fourth quarter, have the ball in excellent field position. SMU on the Texas 46 with 14:50 to go against the number 2 team in the polls this week.
32-yard punt that time. Goodson certainly is not in his punting game today, and the Mustangs might have a hand in that.
One of the things in the fourth quarter you're always conscious of looking in the sun like this is the fact if you field a punt, you've got to be very careful you don't lose the ball up there in that orb. Lance McElhenney, who started the game, is still there. Down the line he goes, puts the ball down, gets across the 45-yard line, did a good job of preventing losing the ball, and got inside the 44 before he was tucked down. Hitter was Kenneth Sims. Sims defensively for Texas. Pickup of about 2. It'll be second down and 8 yards to go.
There you look at the statistics in the third period. Boy, doesn't that tell the story for you? The rushing game for SMU has been the story today.
And 5'11" Lance McElhenney started this game, his first ever. McElhenney, the give, the ball gets away. The ball carrier is dropped and gets nowhere as Texas again fires off the ball defensively. And Drayton is limited to no gain. Weber on the stop. Ball is on the 45-yard line of Texas.
SMU has been sticking on the ground, and you need to do that to control the clock. But you need to throw it into the air once in a while, because if Texas realizes they're not going to put it up much, they'll come all the time.
Well, a timeout is being taken here by one of the officials, and let's see what the call is. They're going to call that timeout against SMU. So there's a timeout here with the SMU calling the time, but it may have been just a strategic timeout for SM as far as they're concerned to sort of regroup. They don't want to make a mistake now. Frank, this game is going to make a lot of new friends and new respect for SMU around. Not that the other games haven't, but when you're going against the number 2 team in the country and you play this well, at least for the 45 minutes, got to build your morale a great deal.
SMU has controlled the game. As you look at the statistics through the first 3 quarters, in first downs, SMU leads 11-9. Rushing 48 times for 221 yards for the Mustangs, 27 carries, a total of 78 yards for Texas. In the passing department, they haven't been as impressive as Texas. McElhenney 1 of 7, and he has no yardage. He did have 3 in the first half, but they lost on the 1 pass play. 7 of 19 for Little with 1 interception.
That's a nice tableau on the side there while you're talking about the statistics. As Mike Ford is over talking with Lance McElhenney, they're discussing strategy and operation. He, along with Ron Meyer, the head coach there. There's a possibility of, getting a little bit of lack of communication between quarterbacks, but this team wants to win.
They've had that. Both Mike and Lance have worked out all summer, as a matter of fact. Here we go back to live action.
Third down and 9 yards to go. McElhenney, the quarterback, goes double wing. James is the wing back to the right side. Back to throw, looking. McElhenney over the middle. Clement Fox in the 35. Spun him all the way around. He couldn't get it. It was clear he would have had the first down. Clement Fox picked up 10 receptions before today. That would have been the biggest one of the year, and he couldn't quite hold on to it. Couldn't control it. Brings up fourth down. Sends in the punter.
He would have had more than the 10 yards needed for the first down, because he had open field ahead of him, a good 15, 20 more yards.
Whirled around, couldn't control it, so that brings Eric Kafus, who's averaged about better than 45 yards a shot today. Sets it up, aims for the sidelines, and maybe got too big a piece of it. It bounces, and again, it won't be handled by Herky Walls, who brought this crowd to its feet in the first half with a scintillating run.
When you force that other team to go 85 to 90 yards almost in every possession, you can be the best team even in pro ball, and it's difficult for you to accomplish it all the time.
That kick went out of bounds on the 11-yard line, Frank Falesi. 13 minutes and 37 seconds to go. Texas ball on their own 11. They trail 13-6. Wide receiver near side is Morris McCloney. Donnie Little has thrown a great deal. Gives inside. Mike Carter is on the top of Darrell Clark as Clark tries to crack over the middle and gets a couple of very tough yards out to about the 13, perhaps. Pickup of 2, make it second down and 8. Harvey Armstrong, Michael Carter, and Jared Moore, the linebacker, on the hit. McCloney again wide to the left side. Two wide receivers right that go double wing. Back to throw is Little. Here comes the pressure. Lobs it in the right flat and smelling out the play and stopping it immediately. The SMU defense. The Mustangs came with a rush as the pass went to the right side, and Little is furious, as you can see.
Well, they tried.
Jared Moore on the stop. The pass was complete to Clark, but Little is just furious.
Watch it right here. It was just good coverage defensively. I don't know why Little would even be furious, except that maybe that he didn't have a good break on it. But they've tried everything against SMU, and SMU's responded.
Loss in the play of about 4 yards, maybe 5. It'll be 3rd down and 13. It was 2nd and 8 on the previous play, 3rd and 13 now. Horns deep in their own territory on their 9. 12:25 on the clock. Little back to throw. Got time, comes to the near side. Pass intercepted on the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and in for a score. Number 20, Mobley. Mobley goes in for a score. He's being deluged by the SMU bench as Mobley read it beautifully and broke inside for a 25-yard return. SMU leads 19-6. Oh, we've got to see that one again. What a magnificent read from Mobley. Today he's had a couple of near sacks. He has played brilliantly. James Mobley from Tyler, Texas.
Watch it again now. Little throws it out into a crowd, literally. There are about 3 or 4 Mustangs around there, and Mobley takes the ball and goes in without being touched. He probably told John Simmons, I want a little of that headline area.
Well, the Tyler, Texas dandy went in for about 20 to 25 yards and puts the Mustangs ahead by a score of 19-6. Kafis holds, Garcia kicks. It's a 20-6 game. It's good. The kick is good. Timeout with the score. SMU 20, Texas 6.
In the second half, the University of Texas has had 1 first down for a total of 42 yards. SMU has shut them down.
And plays most of the game in the Texas end of the field. 20-6 the score with 12:14 to go. As Eddie Garcia, who may be a little bit leg weary, drills this one off and kicks it out of bounds. Garcia has had a lot of kicking to do today. His 4 field goal attempts, his kickoffs, and he caught that one on the inside and sent it out of bounds. So he'll be kicking from the 35.
There's another good story. SMU, no turnovers. Texas has had 3. And SMU, being opportunistic today, has cashed in.
And you know, for the first time, I see some movement in the stands here, although not a lot, not enough to be a tidal wave yet. But 20-6 is the score in SMU, which hasn't won here or hasn't beaten Texas since 1966. Small boys were now grown men who were around with the last time that SMU had beaten Texas. That's a long time ago.
Well, they have a reason to be stunned. Texas undefeated 5-0, a shot at another conference crown, rated 2nd in the nation. Here comes SMU, upstart, but the people don't know what SMU has gone through the last 2 weeks. The total of 5 points to lose a game, 6 points rather.
And it's not over yet. We don't want to count anything too early because there's still 12:14 to go. And remember, it was the 4th quarter where Texas put on the big rush against Oklahoma a couple of weeks ago. But the Mustangs have covered themselves with glory for over 45 minutes so far. This one will be returnable. Herky Walls. Walls at the 3, 5, 10, 15, 25. Down he goes. Walls eventually motors it back. Ray Douglas on the stop. Gets him on the 25-yard line. So SMU has its defensive work cut out for it as Texas comes on offense with a new quarterback, number 15, Rick McIver, a sophomore from Fort Stockton. McIver replacing Donnie Little. McIver a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger at 6'4", 3 inches taller, at 225 pounds heavier. From the 25-yard line, as Akers reaches into his bag of tricks and uses emotion to try to get this Texas team back into contention. 12 minutes and 8 seconds to go. McIver, the quarterback. He's number 15. Watch him. Back to throw the first time he handles the ball. Over the middle he comes. Hits his receiver on the 30. To the 31-yard line. Sampleton makes the first catch of the day. Buried by Blaine Smith, but it's enough for substantial yardage out to about the 31-yard line. And at least McIver made touch with Sampleton. A pickup of 5 in the play, which is very important. 2nd down and about 5.5 to go.
Here's McIver throwing right out into the right side to Sampleton. And watch SMU's other defenders. You couldn't see them, but they gang tackled after he caught the ball for about a second.
Two wide receivers left, one right as MacIver goes back on second down. Pressure, pulls that ball down, gets away from one tackle, gets away from another, backtracks, he's on the 30, gets a block, he's out to the 40, and cut down on the 41-yard line. Undercut by Dick Blaylock. But MacIver picks up a very big first down. From the 25 out to the 40, a 15-yard run. It's 1st and 10, Texas.
Here's MacIver, who was almost brought down for a loss in his own backfield, but he scrambles well, gets away, and is able to come to the near sideline, right near the Texas bench, where Blaylock will knock him out.
Texas on the prowl. 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Texas in a double wing again. Single set it back in behind MacIver. MacIver on a line. Complete. 42-yard line, 40-yard line, 35-yard line. Tate down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And suddenly MacIver has brought this crowd alive. Les Kenning on the block. And the pass complete to Tate. And Tate's inside the 30.
They're just splitting the zones. As you'll see, MacIver, the receiver, gets in there beyond the defenders. It was almost knocked down for SMU, but he's able to get an additional 5 or 6 yards because of the play.
And Texas is saying, hey, we are number 2 in the country. Let's start to play like it. MacIver has brought them alive inside of 2 minutes of play. MacIver in the drop again. Swings it off to the near side. Hits his man on the 30. Down to the 25. Down to the 20. Down to the 15-yard line. Down to the 13-yard line. Down to the 11-yard line. The swing pass to Carl Robinson. Robinson should have been stopped 20 yards upfield. He journeyed down to the 11. 1st and 10 for Texas on the SMU 11-yard line. Wes Hopkins was the last man to stand between Robinson and a touchdown. They rule his knee is down to the 12. 1st and 10 for Texas on the SMU 12-yard line with 10 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
They haven't put the ball on the ground once since MacIver has come in from his 25.
Let me tell you something. He throws a fine football. Slot back is to the left. MacIver looks around. 6'4". Deals it off. Draw play. Give inside. Pick up a 5. That's Darrell Clark. A good time to call the draw. They've gone wide on passes on 3 consecutive plays before that. And the stopper in the short secondary was Mobley. Pickup of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. But time is an expensive commodity for Texas. They trail 20-6. That interception moments ago by Mobley and the touchdown that followed that
could be a big one.
It's a big play.
Well, the crowd loves all this.
Maurice McCloney wide to the right side. Double tight ends. 2 setbacks. 2nd and 6. MacIver looks left and right. Off he comes. Trap hole is there inside the 5, the 4. A good drive down to maybe the 3-yard line. Tate, or rather Clark. The deal off and the advance inside the 5 to about the 3. Gary Moten, the linebacker, makes the stop. It'll be 3rd down and about a half a foot to go for the 1st down. 9 minutes and 16 seconds. Is they're going to bring the sticks into measure, or they are not? Yes, they will. Texas with a tremendous drive here took this ball over in their 25, and they marched downfield with a minimum of time. Woody Van Dyke is on the sidelines. Woody, it's getting a little bit like Bedlam down there with Texas, isn't it?
Mal, it certainly does. Freddie Akers told MacIver when he went into the ball game to put it up, and that's exactly what he's done. And he's fixed up his play since he penetrated and started knocking on that SMU goal line with a few running plays. But MacIver looks awfully good from down here.
He looks good up here to all these Texas people too, Woody, because he's throwing a much better football. It's handleable. Just a little bit shy. Texas fighting the clock, not fighting the crowd, with the crowd, and having a chance here to do something. Clark, Tate, and Beck in the backfield with 2 tight ends, and Beck, the blocking back off the left side. Beck in motion. The give. And a great defensive play as Beck gets the ball back the 2nd time. Who made the play? Number 23, Blaine Smith. The safety shot through. Hit the ball carrier, made him bounce the ball once. Darrell Clark bounced that ball once, and then he was stopped on about the 8-yard line, almost the 9-yard line.
I believe I just saw a signal. As you look at it right there, good defensive play. Blaylock comes in there after Blaine Smith had made the initial hit. They've indicated from the Texas bench to go for it. A field goal won't help them that much. It'll help them, but the time is against them, and they're going to go for the 1st down or possibly the touchdown.
4th down, 8 yards to go. Texas on SMU's 9-yard line. MacIver back to throw. He's got 3 in the pattern. He's being chased. Cocks his arm. Now he backpedals the opposite way. Throws his pass. It's in the end zone. Batted away. A good defensive move by SMU.
Boy,
Texas had 5 men downfield. 5 in a potential pattern. Samplin was there. Koenig was there. So was number 33, Darrell Clark, and McCloney. And the crowd met on the goal line. And SMU comes up with a brilliant defensive maneuver on 4th and goal to go from the 9.
You can't appreciate everything, but you've got to appreciate MacIver, because you can't see everything. MacIver goes everywhere and looks at almost everybody to try to complete this pass. And SMU just had too many white shirts around. There's the defensive play.
Wes Hopkins in that vicinity on the 9-yard line. SMU has got a guard against the turnover now. 1st and 10 from the 9-yard line. Texas will be coming. The give is to Dickinson. He comes over the 11-yard line, maybe to the 12-yard line. Searching for a place to go, looking for daylight. Very little there. Picks up maybe 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. Eric Dickerson, the 205-pound sprinter, who can break a game open with his electrifying speed. It'll be 2nd and 8 for SMU, and time is their ally with 8 minutes to go. Look at those coaches' faces in the booth next door. I wish we had a camera on that. You would think that they were waiting for the 8:05 bus to go downtown on another boring day. But it hasn't been boring for SMU. They are so composed. 7:45 on the clock. 4th quarter. Lance McElhenney deals it off. Dickerson tries again. Spins and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Number 84, Massey, was underneath. Mark Weber and Sendline may have provided the clincher, but Massey had shot the gap. There's no gain there. It'll be 3rd down. And maybe one of the most important men in the business right now is number 2, Eric Kafus, who may be forced to punt within a few moments of play. 7 minutes and 18 seconds. SMU in no hurry. They lead by a score of 20-6. Trailed at halftime 6-3.
Coach Meyer probably has not called for it, but a quick look-in pass, just enough to get your first down, might be in order here.
This far in the field, it may be a little bit difficult to do. Here comes Craig James around the outside. He tries to escape the pressure, but he can't. He's dropped for a loss of 1 yard to 1.5 yards, and that's Bruce Schultz, number 51, the linebacker, who was stride for stride with him. And the flyer, number 32, Craig James, the flyer from Houston, just could not get out any further. And Eric Kafus is in to punt. And you can bet that Texas will be coming. You know, we have a chance. We've had a grand afternoon here in Austin because we've had Lee Chapman spotting for Texas, doing a superb job, and Jim Ferris again for SMU. Jim's a kind of a lucky charm. He spotted for us at Tulane, and that come from behind win.
And Bill McCall has done a good job of spotting, or statistician.
Kafus sends one to the stratosphere. Herky Walls backpedals to the 36-yard line. Right, left, right again. Comes back inside, and he's buried on the 35-yard line. What tremendous coverage downfield, and you saw it. Phillips, Reginald Phillips, is there. Number 91 is Roy Douglas. He was there. By the time all the turns had been manipulated, the stopper was on the 35, but you can bet Texas will be back again.
53-yard punt by Kafus, and only a 2-yard loss in returning. There you see the story of SMU's dominance on the ground. 221 yards rushing to Texas 93.
Texas on their own 35-yard line, just shy of it with 6 minutes and 11 seconds to go, trailing by 14 here in the 4th quarter. Back to go is MacIver. A flag is thrown. MacIver out of the pocket. Puts it down. He's hit and dropped on the 36-yard line. Over the top comes Richard Neely. I keep saying Ralph Neely, and I'm in the right city to say that, I suppose. Richard Neely makes the stop. A couple of yards, and maybe Texas has hurt themselves again with a penalty, Frank.
It could be a holding call here. Again, SMU put good pressure, as you'll see, on the quarterback MacIver, as they're just going man on man, coming back there, and downfield everybody's doing his man defensively on coverage.
The man going down and coming up was David Marshall. Not David Marshall, but Mitch Willis. Mitch Willis, up and down 2-3 times, wouldn't be defeated.
While we await a decision here, we remind you that right after the game, the Ron Meyer show comes along, and Ron could be an extremely happy coach.
He may float up here to the upper deck here at Memorial Stadium. You won't have to go down and meet him. He'll come right up.
We don't have an update on the
SMU trailed at halftime by a score of 6-3. The game sequence went like this. Texas with the first field goal, 3-0. SMU ties at 3-3. Before halftime, Texas gets a field goal to go 6-3. Third quarter, SMU. They owned the third quarter, went out 20-6. The fourth quarter, Well, it's been a struggle as McIver has come back now to put some new life in the Texas offense. And here he goes again. Takes a deep drop. Cocks his arm. Here he comes to the near side. Pass is completed midfield and out of bounds. The receiver, number 23, is Rodney Tate. The bump out was by Dick Blaylock. They met just at midfield, and number 23, Tate, was able to take 2 strides more and goes out of bounds on the 48-yard line of SMU. Stops the clock, and McIver's going to put it up, no question about it.
McIver with a good, sure hand again. He does throw a good football, as Mel Campbell said, and Tate just had to grab it. Was nudged out of bounds right there.
He's got another receiver, Frank, number 44, Carl Robinson, who's running under the deep patterns. First down for Texas. McIver cocks it, waits, go for broke, downfield it comes. Blaylock plays it, up they go, and the ball's tapped away by Blaylock at the goal line.
What a defensive play by Blaylock.
Oh, Koenig and Blaylock. 25 Blaylock for SMU, 13 is Koenig for Texas. And McIver put that ball in the air, 55 yards.
What made the good defensive move for Blaylock was that he kept the ball all the time in his eyesight. As you're watching right here, McIver scrambles left, but Blaylock made sure he was between the ball and his opponent. And he's able to tip it away.
You know, that's a classic. You could put that in a book because both players played that ball the way they had to. Blaylock actually had a thin margin of error and played it brilliantly. 2nd and 10. Blaylock on the drop. Here's the pressure. Cocks his arm. He may be caught. He is not caught. He scoops away. Then he gets stopped. 50-yard line. Blaylock waited long again. On man-for-man coverage downfield, both receivers, Koenig on the near side, and the opposite side receiver also covered. Washington on the drop, and Maurice McCloney had gone to the right side. Koenig was to the near side, and both on the man-man coverage were stopped. We've got 5 minutes and 34 seconds on the clock, and we're going to take a timeout. With the score SMU 20, Texas 6, let's pause for these messages.
Boy, Blaylock.
3rd down and 5 yards to go, and McIver, who's under pressure, is being chased. He gets away once, twice, still under pressure. Cocks his arm, throws way downfield. The receiver there, Blaylock looks, and has he got a touchdown? No, he was out of bounds. 2 officials saw it. Trying to hold on with his toenails at the sidelines was Rodney Tate. And Tate did a great job of trying to stay in bounds, and all justice to him. He did a sensational job of trying to stay alive with the football.
He did, and what a pass was thrown by McIver, but the 2 officials made the gutsy call. The one in the end zone, you're going to see here, the official in the end zone isn't quite sure. The sideline man has to make this call. As the ball is thrown, it looks like a mile. Watch the play right here. He's out. He is out of bounds, and the man who was up the sideline was on it all the way.
And Lee Chapman, my Texas spotter, agrees, and it took a lot of doing to do that, but he was out, Lee, and you saw it clearly. All right, that brings up 4th down. And still 13 yards to go, and McIver's going to put it in the air again. 5:20 on the clock. McIver swing pass to the near side, complete on the 47, out to the 50, down to the 45-yard line. Not enough for the first down. It'll be SMU's ball. Pass was complete to Clark, and Clark swung it down there, but SMU's playing their victory defense, playing their people off the line a little bit more, and these SMU coaches now are beginning to feel the excitement of this brilliant afternoon here in Austin. It's been a long time since SMU has savored the possibility of a win. Mike Carter, on some pressure there on the stop, played a brilliant game today. There are no single heroes. There are a lot of heroes if SMU maintains the lead and pulls out this game. 5:10 on the clock. From the 44-yard line, it'll be SMU's ball. And I don't think SMU this afternoon, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, has ever had to start in the second half from any further than maybe the 40-yard line, their own 40.
That's about it.
Dickerson away from one tackle across midfield and onto the 45-yard line. And shoddy tackling made it possible for Eric Dickerson to be stopped for just a moment and then to break it for about 13. Woody Van Dyke is on the sidelines. Woody, it really is getting to be bedlam behind the Texas bench now.
It certainly is, and this crowd is numb, and they're numb in a state of shock. I talked with Eric Dickerson a moment ago, and Mal, he says he's numb too, but he's numb with joy. And Ron Meyer looks like a commander-in-chief over there, and he is really savoring what it looks like now, a possible victory for the SMU Mustangs if they can hang on.
Well, Peruna can hold on, and if you can hold on and the rest of us can hold on, it's going to be a brilliant 5 minutes and a short ride home. Lance McElhenney has to take some of the credit, a lot of the credit today. McElhenney back, gives to Dickerson, slides away from that first tackle. The hitter, number 77, is Kenny Sims. And at 205 pounds, you might think that Dickerson's not all that big. but he's a swift-moving, darting 205, and that makes him difficult to stop sometimes. Pickup of half a yard, it'll be 2nd and 9.5.
If SMU, as you look at the graphic there, 233 yards on the ground, can add another first down, he could pretty well put it away for the Mustangs. James is 19 carries today for 145 yards. Dickerson 16 for 50 yards, and the two of them have shown why they are good backs.
An offensive line that's opened up some holes that were just enormous against this 4-3 Texas, which is a crowding defense, and Lance McElhenney sees it, and he wants to take a timeout. He saw something there defensively, I'm sure, as he looked down, that he decided he wanted to do. He wanted to take a timeout.
I think they're going to call delay of game. He came up to the line taking a little too much time perhaps in the huddle, and really didn't have any choice in that one.
That's right. He's not taking the time. He looked across there, and maybe he wants to spend all the time that he can. Hey, your football Texas style on Monday night ought to be thrilling.
That'll be a great show, as we have Frank Kleber along with Alan Stone and John Nyland. From the Cowboys, we'll have Ed Too Tall Jones and Tony Dorsett, and the spotlight will be at the Marriott Hotel on Stemmons Freeway in Dallas. So we invite people to watch Monday night at 7.
That penalty stopped the clock at 4:21. Makes it 2nd and long. McElhenney, the give. No, he keeps it this time. And he faked the bootleg give to the end around, coming around Mitchell. Kept it himself, and he was hit down by Levi Mays as McElhenney had gone maybe 35 yards east and west, but the north and south, the route lost him a couple. Can you imagine how his father feels right now?
Well, his whole family has to be happy. I know the McElhenneys. I know they've been waiting for this. I've watched McElhenney play since he was a sophomore in high school, Mal. He looked poised then. He's been poised today. Big job he had.
3rd down and 18 yards to go on the 46-yard line. Their own 46, SMU, 3:45 on the clock. Won't try anything too adventurous here. They deal off up front to Dickerson or to Drayton. Drayton's all the way across midfield, busts it down to about the 43-yard line. Good play. Picked up 8, maybe 9 yards in the play as Drayton brought it right up the middle. 205-pound fire plug. Got into Texas territory on the 44-yard line. The 43-yard line brings up 4th down. 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
When SMU's had the ball, they've taken a long time with their series, just grinding it out. Texas takes very little time throwing the passes, but they haven't connected.
SMU's come through a game 57 minutes worth to lead by a score of 20-6. 3 minutes left on the clock. It is moving. Cephas will kick. You can bet he'll put it up. Texas will be coming. Herky Wall stands on his 10. Here comes Texas. There goes the kick. Aiming for the sidelines, and may have gotten a piece of it again further upfield, but at least he kept it away from the ever-dangerous Herky Walls. And Cephas says, wait a minute, you're calling it a little bit too close there, Mr. Official. On the 16-yard line, not bad, inside that 20 again.
SMU has kept them inside their 20, I think, the entire second half.
Look at this Texas team come off the sidelines here. They've had an afternoon of football they would just as soon forget.
30-yard punt, no return for Cephas, but he could care less about his statistics as far as distance is concerned here, the way he's been punting them out of bounds.
2 minutes and 55 seconds. The Longhorns, some of their crowd have left. There's a lot left when you have a crowd of 70,000. McIver's back to throw. They know McIver can put the ball in the air, and he puts it out there long. Downfield it comes, and McIver overthrows his receiver on the 46-yard line. Tremendous fly pattern down the right side to Rodney Tate. Rodney couldn't reach the ball. Coverage was man for man with John Simmons on the corner. Mobley's interception stands out as a classic to help SMU maintain an edge that may have been very precipitous here in the second half. Mobley's interception and touchdown run. That was a big play.
That's right. It's a 13-6 game at that point, and anything can happen.
2:49. That stopped the clock, and you can bet that this last 2 minutes and a half will take maybe 10 or 12 minutes on the clock to play, because Texas will put that ball up. Longhorns haven't lost here for a while. A couple of, was it early last year? McIver again. Here's the pressure. Neely spins off his shoulder. McIver beckons downfield. He wants somebody to go. Throws it up short to Sample on the 25. Cross he goes to the 30. Out to the 35-yard line. Stumbles and falls in about the 30, about the 34. Jared Moore finally gets it to the shoe tops, and Sampleton gets it out to the 34. 2 minutes and 35 seconds. That's a first down on the 34-yard line. November 1978, Texas lost to Houston. So it's been a long spell of victories here in Memorial Stadium. McIver again. Backpedal, throws to the near side. Neely chases the receiver. 35-yard line, 39-yard line, and belted out of bounds. Neely for one, and number 90, Jared Moore for another on the coverage, as SMU is aware that Texas will put the ball in play in the air every time.
Well, they're giving him the short distance, probably a good 8 to 12, 15 yards. They're just dropping back, making sure they have a good coverage on the long ball.
We hope that you in Dallas, Texas have enjoyed this game as much as we have, because this has been a thriller. On a perfect afternoon for football weather-wise, and for Dallas, for the SMU Mustangs out of Dallas, they have played maybe the finest game in Ron Meyer's career. Up in the air, intercepted by Simmons. Simmons with still another interception, makes on about the 27-yard line, makes another interception for him. And look at John Simmons as he has pulled down his 6th interception of the year.
Average about 1 a game. And you know, you kept wondering, how often is McIver going to be able to get away with it? Keep throwing. You keep going to the well and throwing the pebbles in. They'll fill up eventually.
Well,
Simmons just reached for that one, stole it literally away.
Pass was intended for McCloney. And it'll be 1st and 10 for SMU, and it'll be a golden 2 minutes and 5 seconds. 125 seconds of football left. And the Texas crowd is stunned. If our cameras could look down, they would see it. A crowd that they're talking to each other and feeling, well, not sorry for Texas, but I imagine Woody Van Dyke on the sidelines is really knows now that SMU is savoring the win. Woody, they're savoring it.
Here you look at Fred Akers, and he really can't complain too much. His team has been faced today by a good opponent.
Tableau there. Ron Meyer talks to McElhenney, the 5-year coach, the 1st-year quarterback. They exchange the information. McElhenney comes back, and I thought I read the lips that said, "Don't throw."
Might have. I'm sure he did.
Don't throw. Whatever you do, don't throw. Don't force the ball.
2 minutes and 5 seconds remain for SMU to get off the losing streak of 2 games and knock off the number 2 team in the nation. As you look at the Mustang huddle,
look at the different the little plays within a play that are on the other side. The Mustang bench so alive, the Longhorn bench, they are sensing that this ends the number 2 ranking in the country. McElhenney sets his line, gives off. Dickerson slides through, and the blocking is enough for him to get across the 30 to the 33. Eric Dickerson. And Texas wearily gets up out of there, and time is called by Texas, savoring some time. 1:54 to go. Pick up by Dickerson. Good 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 again.
If the Mustangs get a 1st down, they can pretty well run out the clock. Monday night at 7. Watch football Texas style on TV 39, as you'll see an interesting story on a multi-million-dollar high school stadium. Highlights of today's game, and Frank Lieber's guest will be the Dallas Cowboys' Ed Too Tall Jones and Tony Dorsett. For an exciting football hour, join hosts Alan Stone, John Nyland, and Frank Lieber live from the beautiful lobby of the Marriott Inn on Stemmons Freeway in Dallas for football Texas style, Monday night at 7 on TV 39.
You know, we've almost forgotten one thing. I think we've seen so much play today, and you get wrapped up in a game so much we've forgotten how Craig James broke that runoff in that first series in the 3rd quarter, when 2 runs went into the middle, and then they flipped the ball to the outside, and he fled for 53.
And SMU never was behind after that. They were trailing at the time 6-3. Certainly a turnaround. 2-3 big plays have made it for the Mustangs today. They've been capable of doing this all year. I guess you might say poetic justice has set in.
All right, let's say poetic justice has set in and say we've got 1 minute and 54 seconds to go, and flank a man left, and watch what Lance McElhenney does as he sends Dickerson on a cruise up across the 40 to the 45 to the 46-yard line. He belted all his way for a good 12 yards from the 35 out to about the 46. Give him 11 on the carry. It's a 1st down for SMU. Mobley's interception and return. Simmons' interception. The running of Dickerson right now and earlier on 3rd and short.
Eric Dickerson, 18 carries for 70 yards today. James is over 130.
1 minute and 30 seconds to go, and that much Mustang bench will explode. McElhenney give to Dickerson again into the hole, and it's merely just an exercise in futility for the Longhorns. Number 51 again Bruce Scholes, 48 men, has played in the middle so well today. Doug Schenkel. But the Texas football bubble has exploded as SMU has come alive. And after 2 heartbreaking losses, they have suddenly said to the rest of the United States, you know something? We're not a bad football team.
SMU has opened the door wide for the Southwest Conference race. Baylor probably has a little bit of an edge right now, but Houston, with a win today over Arkansas, thanks to its victory over SMU last week, could be in a mad scramble. There could be about 4 or 5 teams down the wire.
The race isn't over yet, and there's a lot of postseason glory to be gained. And frankly, as it's been expressed to a lot of people, SMU was looking for a chance to share in that postseason, which they haven't been able to get into in recent years. And you know that so well.
Ron Meyer even mentioned it as late as Monday at the DFW Sports Media Luncheon that there would be about 3 or 4 teams that would have a say in who would win the conference. He's been saying right along, we want to go to a bowl. He's never discounted going to the Cotton Bowl, but 2 losses could very well make it a little difficult for him. But it might be minimal now.
1 minute and 22 seconds here as we wind the clock down to Memorial Stadium. As Texas has had very little to talk about today. 2 field goals far below par for the Texas offense. Dickerson again that hole is there, and you notice the neat little move he makes as he twinkle toes across that left side, comes to the middle and moves out left and picks up maybe 6 or 7 yards a bite. Give him 5 on that, 5.5, maybe 6, and it'll be 3rd down and 4 yards to go. 1 minute and 5 seconds. 1 minute exactly. And from the rest on, it's velvet for the Southern Methodist University Mustangs, who take this drive back from here, the 200-mile trip from here, with the thrill of having beaten Texas on their home field. McElhenney under full chase. They're going for him around the corner to the 40, down to the 38-yard line. McElhenney in full flight. And the SMU coaches in the booth next to us are ecstatic. The handshakes are there, and you can't believe how happy these young men can be. Smiles galore. 41 seconds on the clock. That did it. The first down that sealed the fate of Texas and gives SMU the lead, and an insurmountable lead of 20-6. They've had it since the 3rd quarter, Frank Falacy, and are they enjoying it?
Russ Potts, the director of athletics, just went over and hugged Ron Meyer, and you can hear the coaches out in the hallway. Those are the SMU coaches from the booth.
That's either that or Bevo, and they've done something to him. They gave us to Dickerson again. He'd like to break one, and Dickerson inside the 30 to the 29. Another yard shy of a first down. 35 seconds, and Dickerson's picking up very impressive yardage here. And it'll become known in the books as a romp. 20-6, you see the score there. What you'll have to appreciate are the statistics for this SMU team, the way they have dominated today. Our thanks again to Lee Chapman and to Jim Ferris. They've done a great job, but Jim is frankly the happier of the two as we get into this late Texas sun.
And Bill McCall,
9 seconds, 8 seconds. Go ahead.
Bill McCall, our statistician, has given us a final note here. James, 145 yards. Dickerson, 84 for the SMU Mustangs. And Ron Meyer being carried off the field there by his team.
He's running across to talk with Freddie Akers now as they exchange handshakes, and it's just a cursory thing. But for SMU, the sweetest victory in Ron Meyer's career as a head coach at SMU. First quarter, Texas with a field goal. Second quarter, SMU with a field goal. Texas gets another just before halftime. 6-3 at halftime. Third quarter, James with that 53-yard run, 44-yard field goal by Garcia. Fourth quarter, Mobley with that brilliant interception, 20-yard run. Simmons with an interception that sealed everything. 20-6 the final score. What a great day for SMU football.
And you have to give credit to the entire SMU team. A little, maybe more than a little, to Lance McElhenney. You cannot say that he was the single factor, but a change had to be made. And Ron Meyer took it on his shoulders with the advisement of his coaches, and they decided to go that way. If it's the right move all along, time will tell. But it was a move to make, and they made it.
SMU, a very happy football team. Texas, a proud football team. They will be back. There's no question about it. Something like this could sting Texas to an almost incomparable fury over the last 5 games that they play.
SMU has got to be given recognition. It had been given recognition by a lot of bowl officials. They were watched by as many as 9 last week and 6 the week before. Now they have to be given a strong contention period. But SMU can't let it lay here. They've got to pick it up next week and have another game against Texas A&M.
Don't forget the Ron Myers show, which is coming up immediately. This will be maybe one of the great shows that Ron Myers has ever had. It's certainly got to be the happiest because he's done a great job. 20-6 is the final score. SMU over Texas. This is Mal Campbell for Frank Falacy and Woody Van Dyke. See you in just a few moments.